Game brought to you by Reliant. With Reliant, you're the one with the power. To save on electricity, call 1-866-RELIANT. Show your team pride with the Texans official license plate from myplates.com. Also, your local Ford dealers, official trucks of the Houston Texans. And play the Houston Texans scratch-off game for the Texas Lottery. Maybe it's your lucky day. Yeah, the Texans are going to have it. Boy, that rib looks too good. Man, does that look good. Gary Kubiak getting ready for season number 7. And a lot of people around the NFL, the experts, feel like it's going to be a lucky 7 for Gary Kubiak.
Absolutely. He's built this team the right way, slow, and he's replaced those who would leave, like Joel Dreesen at tight end and other positions that have been key and important to the success overall for Gary Kubiak. The running backs are deep. The wide receivers, which started off to be a problem, we thought now could be argued a strength right now.
Man for the Minnesota Vikings in his 3rd year as their head coach. Leslie Frazier, his 2nd full season starting. And they were 3-13 last year, a very difficult year, and they had a lot of injuries, let's face it, especially the linebacker spot.
Yeah, the linebacker spot is one thing, but Jerome Simpson, their star wide receiver, is out as well. He's going to serve a suspension. He'll miss the first 3 games of the season. Percy Harvin is the only guy at that wideout spot that even resembles an NFL caliber player.
Young man we were just talking about in his 3rd year. Trendon Holiday waits for it from Blair Walsh, and Holiday a yard into the end zone will bring it out with a return over to the right side across the 15. Good coverage by Minnesota. They'll shut him down. Audie Cole, the first one down there, gets him at the 18-yard line. Well, the plan tonight for the Texans, it is going to be the first half. John Beck in his 6th year out of BYU from Mesa, Arizona, and a 31-year-old. And is this the opportunity? Is this going to be the time he cashes in? He's had it. A couple of chances before, of course. 2nd-round pick of the Dolphins in 2010, 40th overall. And the second half is going to be Case Keenum. Looking over the middle. Short game on the catch. And it's taken in by the Texans. It'll be White, Jones, Brooks, Gardner, and Butler up front. Our Texans PSL Marketplace. The starting lineups. Forsett and Moran Norris in the backfield with Keyshawn Martin, Logan Brock, and Kevin Walter. Wide receiver. So Jeff Mayo had the completion, and look out. There goes Forsett down the sideline. Do they have an angle? Yes. And bump him out of bounds. So in the second play, simple off tackle play basically. Justin Forsett solidifying the 3rd running back spot.
Folks up in Seattle wondering why they let him go. He's a great special teams player. Watch the stretch play. Great zone blocking here. He pushes it to the furthest point on that outside and then dips underneath and uses the angles to his advantages. Works the sideline and just shows you some of that sprinter speed on the back end. Not only can he play well from scrimmage, he's a great special teams player as well.
Those are his numbers coming in. Now that is a huge gain. All the way from the 20 down to the 26. So on a first down, Grimes met in the backfield and buried in the backfield as he's taken care of by Tyrone McKenzie. And starting lineups all brought to you by the Texans PSL Marketplace. Reed, Evans, Ballard, Griffin in a 4-3 alignment with Dean McKenzie, who just made the spot, and weak side backer Marvin Mitchell. In the secondary, corners are Burton and Carr. The safeties are Frampton and the rookie Harrison Smith for Minnesota. So it's a loss of 2 on Jonathan Grimes' first carry, a guy that could potentially be over to the practice squad. Now back on the short drop. He could be behind, but a completion goes to Logan Brock, and he's inside the 10 for a 1st and goal as he spun away to the 6 and is dropped by Blank in the secondary.
Joel, the impressive thing about this play is not only the catch, but watch the pressure up the middle. And despite that, John Beck sets in that pocket. The penetration will typically kill a play like that. The patience and the poise to deliver. Watch the pressure up front on that over technique. Grimes comes up, does a great job of fitting the guy up to get the block. The ball released, completion, nice game.
It's a 1st and goal for the Texans on a drive that started back at their own 18. Forsett put him in a great position, and now is hit at the 4 and driven backwards by Frampton. Is that a hot read by John Beck more than anything else because of the heat you were talking about?
Well, the read was hot not so much because the corner play or the safety play, the pressure up front was the key that triggered it. He just did a brilliant job of getting rid of the football.
So give Forsett the 3. He's in his 5th year out of Cal. Free agent from the Seahawks this year. And now the linebacker for the Vikings needs some help getting it off the field. That's Marvin Mitchell, and we'll take a timeout along with Minnesota. So just about 3 minutes in. Looks good so far offensively for Gary Kubiak and the Texans. Joel Myers, Spencer Tillman, Bob Allen back at Reliant. Well, last week Matt Schaub was just 15 of 18. Talk about efficiency. 15 of 18, 194 yards and 1 TD. And as Gary Kubiak said, they came out, they wanted to move it by throwing the football, and Matt did a great job.
Well, Matt was brilliant. When you look at his numbers, you see the preseason so far, 38 attempts there, 374 yards. That's a great game performance for him. His rating is up there where it needs to be to have the type of performance and consistency in this offense of Gary Kubiak.
Forsett in the eye behind Moran Norris. Another bubble guy at fullback. And on 2nd and goal, Forsett's in. Touchdown Texans on a 3-yard run. Didn't run himself out of the play, did he?
He didn't. You know what, Joel? That's such a great observation on your part. Slow to, fast through. The old Edgerrin James style. You see that? Patience, wait, then carry a guy into the end zone for the score. Forsett doing a great job of patiently waiting behind that offensive line and reading it. Opportunistic running style for the smaller back. It pays dividends down here in the green zone.
Now 12-year vet out of Virginia Tech, Shan Graham, who's going to be the kicker for the Texans this year. In for the point after. And that completes an 82-yard drive, and almost all of it on the ground from that guy, Justin Forsett. So we know about Arian Foster, Ben Tate. Well, Justin Forsett making his name as well. 7-0 Texans. We'll come right back to Reliant. Texans 7-0 as we welcome you back to Reliant. We're joined now by Bob Allen. Bob?
Yeah, guys, you know these replacement officials just don't get it. Justin Forsett, I was just down there on the sideline a second ago, scored his first touchdown as a Texan. And after he scored, he went over to one official, the female official that's over there, tried to get her to give him the ball. She tossed it to the official on the inside. He didn't see it. Justin's walking around to all the officials trying to get the game ball. Finally, the Texans ball guy came over and got it for him, so he got it for him. So Justin got it. Anyway, Texans 2012 season tickets are going to be sold out, but a few luxury seats still remain. 832-667-2160 to learn more about Texan Suites, to schedule a tour. Game day in a Texan suite is an experience you and your guests will never forget. Call 832-667-2160.
All right, Bob, thank you. As Stephen Burton brought it back, good kick about 2-3 yards into the end zone, and equally nice coverage for the Texans. And Minnesota's going to have it at their own 17 on their first possession of the contest.
And partner, we'll be looking for those guys on the back end. Rock Carmichael, Brandon Harris, Sherrick McManus, and Alan Ball all vying for that position back there. The competition hot and heavy.
Keep an eye on number 54 starting tonight, Whitney Merciless, the first-round pick, 26th overall. It's out for Burton, and almost like it caught him a little bit late, in the sense that when Webb got it out there, it was right there, but his hand's up late.
Yeah, it's all about timing. Webb is actually listed as a number 2 guy, but Sage Rosenfeld is the only guy on this roster that has led them to a touchdown in a loss against San Diego last week. So, again, a lot of competition there for Leslie Frazier for his second quarterback position.
1-2 over the first 3 games for the Vikings. They're coming off a loss to the San Diego Chargers, 12-10 last week. Now Webb under the stop route. It's complete, but good coverage as it's taken in by Aramashinu. And Brandon Harris right on his back. Love, DeGear, Berger, Fusco, and Brown. The offensive line for Minnesota. Toby Gerhart, Imperio in the backfield with Jenkins, Burton, and Carlson with a tight end. Texans PSL Marketplace bringing you the starting lineups for full bios, stats on all the Texans. HoustonTexans.com. As you saw, the first 11 offensively for Minnesota. It's already a 3rd down. And the Texans defense holding the opposition to just 31% on 3rd downs. Extra rusher, good pass by Webb. And it's complete for the first down as it goes out once again. Aramashinu in front of McManus.
Look at the coming out of the break here by Sherrick McManus. He stumbles out of that break, creating that separation. That's why that pass was completed. And all day long, coaches will be looking for how he closes versus a Brandon Harris or a Rock Carmichael. These are the inches that make the difference between a guy making a roster and get an apple on a road map.
First down carry over to the left side. Dan tried to battle his ways. Lex Hilliard, who's their third back, as he has dropped after a gain of about 2 up to the 34. And now defensively for the Texans, King, Mangupo, and draft choice Jared Crick out of Nebraska. Linebackers, Merciless, Alexander, Dobbins had a sensational preseason over the first 3, and DJ Bryant. And in the secondary, what you've been focusing on, Ball, Demps, Nolan, and McManus.
They're pretty good back there, part of that stellar improvement the secondary made last year.
On second down, busting out into the secondary, and a good run that time. And it's the fullback, Mac Asiata, in his second season out of Utah, dropped by Brandon Harris.
Well, this has been a problem, and it is an inherent problem of a 3-4 as that guard spot is uncovered. Weaknesses along that side has been a problem for the Texans in the preseason. They've given up a lot of yardage. Did last week to about 4 backs at New Orleans, who are also awesome, as they did to the backs in the week preceding that. They've got to shore that up front.
Asiata stays in there as a tailback. He's listed at about 240 pounds, so that is a big and serious tailback. It's at the Texans 49. And a little waggle action for Webb out on the edge. Only one man over there, and it's complete. He's got a first down inside the 35. And Aramashadu, once again, a 7th-round pick of Miami in 2006. Out of Auburn, pulls it in for his 3rd early grab of the game.
Aramashadu is an outstanding cover guy. I watched him a long time at Auburn. He's got great cover skills, but again, what makes this play work on the back end, Harris is out of position. They're playing a zone, kind of an umbrella coverage back there, and the receiver found a soft spot in it and was able to exploit it.
So 6 minutes into the game, both offensive units moving the football. Set up Ellison over to the left side, the rookie out of SC, the extra pass rusher. Webb eludes it though in the backfield, and on the blitz, he gets good yardage. It looked like they were going to get him in the backfield as Troy Nolan had a run at him.
Troy came from that deep safety spot again, but Webb's showing you he's got some ability to move. Pressure's going to come all the way back from here inside, and as it comes up the middle, Webb eludes, and then watch the speed to separate from a defensive back, giving up about 20 pounds, and you can see the speed, maybe not to appreciate the distance and the separation, but Webb getting every bit of yardage out of that broken play.
And Demps in the backfield as well. Finally chases him out of bounds from behind. It'll be 2nd and 3, gain of about 7. And won't get the first down that time. It's Lex Hilliard in his 4th season out of Montana. Mr. Alexander wrapping up the running back. Johnson there as well.
Yeah, Mr. Alexander came in there hell-bent for election on that one. He put a hat right on the runner on that play, and that's what you're looking for. That's what a linebacker does. This defense is designed to allow the excellent play of the linebackers to start.
Let's head down to Bob Allen. Bob?
Yeah, you wonder why Mr. Alexander was named Mr. His parents gave him the acronym MR for mentally ready. MR, Mr. That's why they call him Mr.
I like it. 3rd and 3 from the 25. Asiata, good penetration. Play was completely torpedoed underneath. Did an outstanding job as they unstack. And it was Mr. Alexander.
Yeah, there he is, back-to-back plays. Again, one thing that will kill an offensive play is penetration. Play on the opposite side of the ball never gives this chance to develop, and Mr. Alexander, back-to-back plays. Boy, I tell you what, he is active early in this one.
So now the rookie out of Georgia, 6th-round pick for the Vikings. Blair Walsh is going to try a 43-yard attempt. On its way, did he hook it? Yes, he did. So Walsh can't convert. And Alexander and the defense stands up after the penetration early by the Vikings. Still a 7-0 lead. We'll be back to Houston after these messages from your local station. To fan picks at HoustonTexans.com, and thank you for already sending them in as we show you, and you show off your Houston Texans pride. You can appear on the broadcast. Just keep sending those photos right now to fan picks at HoustonTexans.com. I like that last one.
Wow. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, strong. Texans get it back after a missed 43-yard field goal attempt by their 6th-round pick. And we talked about Shane Graham making the team. That's because of the torn groin for Randy Bullock, the 5th-round pick for the Texans. Our 1st and 10 line this quarter brought to you by Verizon.
Well, the veteran, unfortunately, probably was outperforming him, and that's a tough thing to swallow. But again, if he's going to get hurt.
Now back in trouble, got rid of it, and off the fingertips of a guy who's right on the bubble, Moran Norris.
Well, Moran is a classic, quintessential fullback, a guy that's going to be a battering ram down by the line of scrimmage. When he does get a chance to catch the ball, particularly now, you've got to make good on it. Again, he comes up, does a great job of buttoning and releasing. It was a design play. You got to bring that one in. Again, Moran Norris is a former Texan, been here before, done that, understands the offense, but you got to make that play when you can.
And trying to get a second tour of duty with the Texans. He's with the Texans in 2003, 4, and 5 with the 49ers. Now on 2nd down, deep drop off the play fake by Beck and going for the bundle on a jump ball drop by Keyshawn Martin right there. Whoa.
Watching Martin in practice, you got to finish. Beck did an excellent job. First of all, the protection was there. Beck stayed in the pocket again and then put that ball right over the outside shoulder, only where Martin had a chance. Martin had to just a little bit for it, but again, it was right where it needed to be. You got to finish the play. Great job of sighting the ball and seeing it with his eyes, but finish it all the way into the palms.
Coverage, Zachary Bowman had problems locating it, so he was available. Now 3rd and 10, and Beck out of the gun. Low throw, no chance on that completion.
Pressure off that left side.
He went for super dom.
Tough, man. Texans got to do a better job of shoring up that pressure off the left side. The good get off is what coaches are looking for. Again, you're going to see 97 get a great job of here turning Wade open up on that side over there. Just turn him like a little wedge on a fence, a hinge. Just open him up like a door, and a direct path to the quarterback that forced that play.
Been a solid preseason for Donnie Jones in his first year as a Tech, his 9th year out of LSU, and gets into this one. Jarius Wright, the rookie out of Arkansas, their 4th round pick, will take it outside of the 10 and down in a hurry. And guess who's there? Justin Forsett on specials.
We talked about that before the show started. That's the value that he brings. Justin Forsett is a baller.
So the Vikings get it back. Texans lead it though 7-0 as we'll come back to Houston after these messages from your local station. To be indoors at Reliant, Joel Myers, Spencer Tillman alongside Bob Allen. Texans on top. And now the Vikings get it for the 2nd time deep in their own territory. They had it to 17. Failed to convert after a long drive. Stalled. 43-yard field goal was missed by Blair Walsh, their rookie place kicker. And on 1st down, Hilliard, who put it on the ground on his first carry last week against San Diego, is thumped right at the 20. Tim Dobbins, along with Merciless, in on that hit. And Tim Dobbins has stood out regularly on film over the first 3 games.
Well, the 1st round draft pick, Merciless, is going to be active and involved in a lot of that. Dobbins there at the point, but Merciless will do most of his damage from that outside linebacker position. He can put his hand down or he can put it up, as you see right there. He's an unbelievable speed rusher off the edge.
It'll be 2nd and 9. Burton splits out on the near side. You're looking for Burton underneath and behind with a tight end. It's off Mickey Schuler's fingertips. His dad played. Remember, Mickey Schuler played for the Jets for a long time. Son trying to make it in his 2nd season out of Penn State, working against Harris.
Yeah, Harris was in nice coverage, but I think when you look at what Schuler did on that route, he kind of got an angle on that route instead of getting flat, and it obviously affected the timing of the quarterback trying to get the ball to him, and that's problematic. Listen, that's a big issue for Leslie Frazier's offense. He doesn't have top-notch receivers right now. Percy Harvin, again, is the only NFL caliber guy he has.
They're wondering, we'll see Michael Jenkins potentially, but they're wondering about Michael Jenkins. Now here comes the heat. Webb's got a lot of room to run. He'll get the 1st down across the 30 and lowers his shoulders. The ball pops out, and they say he's already down. So it popped out and flipped right into Quentin Dempsey's hands.
Well, here's a theme we see emerging early in this contest. We know they don't have great receivers. Again, as we look at the ball, you can see his right knee is down. The ball, the whole body is down. Yes. The ball comes out. So that's a moot point there. But again, the theme is we know they don't have receivers. You're playing man coverage behind it. I think you can get away with more zone and find a way to play facing the quarterback who's going to run it more often than not.
Now multiple shifts before they get set. On 1st down from the 35. Here comes the blitz off the edge. Webb gets away, can't get away from Dobbins though. Now the first crack was on the outside for DJ Bryant. He slowed him down. And was it Dobbins or Merciless?
DJ Bryant had a clear shot at him. Boy, he came hell-bent for election. Number 63 on the outside, unabated, comes directly to the quarterback, forces Webb to turn, spin opposite of that direction.
And then Dobbins.
And then Dobbins came in to clean up the mess. Again, the Texans do an excellent job of bringing pressure on the outside because they're able to mix up their coverage. That's the value and the beauty of the 3-4 when you have capable rushers.
Vikings offensive line has had problems with the preseason. 5 sacks of Christian Ponder last week in the San Diego game. And now it is Hilliard shut down after about 3, maybe 4 at the most. It'll bring up 3rd and long. Well, this Texans defense has been solid over the first 3 games when you consider it was New Orleans, the ones against the ones over the first half. And then there were some mistakes, of course, 3 fumbles for the Texans last week. But the Texans on average over the first 3 games have given up only 276 yards total offense to the opposition.
Yeah, and it was great to see Jared Crick there, the draft pick out of Nebraska, doing an excellent job there. He can be a player. They're going to need him in that 6 to 8 man rotation that they'll put out.
So 3rd and long. Webb. Pocket starting to collapse low, and was the completion made? Yes, it is cradled there by Burton right at the marker. It almost got through and kind of creeped up on him.
Well, Stephen Burton did a nice job of getting his hands underneath that ball, and of course his back was to the official. He couldn't see the clear path, but I think that was a reception nevertheless. Great throw, pitch, and catch on that particular play, and Stephen Burton, nice job of settling it in.
Yeah, he's going to want a measurement because they said it was 4th down. And I'm surprised they picked the ball up. Now they put it back down.
Well, there you see the coverage. Allen Ball,
good grab.
Pretty good coverage, but just a better catch.
Really good grab. As you said, got under it.
That's the key. Again, this is about time, and again, zone coverage. Webb found the window in that little triangle, and he got right underneath it, but the ball, you know, depending on where they place this thing, if they adjust it, he could be just a tip of the ball short.
You got to go for it. Preseason, 4th and a few inches. And Leslie Frazier's squad needs a confidence builder. They went 3-13 last year. They were just 1-7 at home. So they're just inches short, a couple of inches at the most.
This is a courage call here. I know it's preseason. You know they have nothing to lose.
Well, they got a 6'4", 2 1/4 quarterback.
Right.
I mean, the sneak works.
Well, let's see how they spread them out formation-wise. Let's see how this works. Again,
silent count and spread.
Silent count to see what they do, and hard count. Let's see if you get the Texans to jump. I can almost guarantee the Texans are going to jump.
So here we're going 4th and inches. Joe Webb has looked pretty efficient back there at quarterback. He's got good wheels. He's in his 3rd year out of UAB. 6th round pick in 2010. Native of Birmingham. And in the backfield, he's still got Hilliard back there. So jumbo look. Man, don't go with the sneak, but it'll be a 1st down.
They got it, but that was, you know.
Interesting.
When you open up and hand the ball off on a play that's not a stretch play like that, that is such a dangerous play.
That deep?
That deep, and also the fact that so many men are close to the line of scrimmage. In the 3-4, linebackers will fill those voids very, very quickly. And I would give a linebacker a running start at a down lineman and win that battle, despite they're giving up 30 to 40 pounds, because he's on the run. That was a really, really big-time gamble.
Yeah, it's always interesting that you wouldn't go with a 6'4" quarterback on just a sneak. It's a 1st down for the Vikings. Down to the toss. It's Hilliard. He's got a nice lane over to the left side. Into the secondary he goes. And he's put down by Troy Nolan. But a big run by Hilliard. Well, and a 1st down to the 32.
Pardon me, friend. The key is off the outside here. You have to play your technique with integrity. When you get bounced inside like that, on that particular play like the rookie did, you got to be cautious and careful of not getting flushed down, because this defense is predicated on lane integrity. If you're outside of that lane or get hooked, there's going to be a void in your scheme.
And their fullback Felton, 10 yards down the field, was still blocked. On the delay, Asiata's in there. And a good weave for about 5, almost 6, down to the 26. Brought down by Quentin Demps. So whether it's the quarterback on a scramble, or as we've seen, Asiata or Hilliard on that last run. They've been moving the ball on the ground.
Well, they have, and again, it came as a result of really smart running. Again, a lot of times you're not going to break a big run against, especially a 3-4 that has athletic linebackers. So you have to take advantage, trust your linemen, and then find the voids in there. It may take a while to do it. Be patient.
Roma should do. On the top of the screen is the wideout and a little end around reverse for Jarius White. Gets a nice block downfield. That was the fullback again, Jerome Felton. And it's a 1st and goal at the 6 on some gadget action.
Great precision execution. Again, Felton did a great job of blocking for his battery mate. Right. Shows you some speed that he did at Arkansas. Again, his battery mate is also there with them. Childs on injured reserve right now. Actually, he's not injured reserve, but he's hurt right now, unavailable. But that was just a well-designed play. Fullback did a great job of ushering his teammate downfield for a big game.
First time in the red zone. Single set is Lex Hilliard out of Montana in his 4th year. They slide the tie in. Hilliard cutting it back, and what a major league collision that was with the linebacker, Mr. Alexander. That's a shock to the system.
Well, he hit him like he stole something, didn't he? Wow.
Well, watch for Spencer Tillman's rising star of the game, powered by Royal Purple. It's going to be announced during the 4th quarter. It's your chance to win a Houston Texans VIP package, including tickets to the Texans-Packers game. So stay tuned for your rising stars, Spencer.
Well, let's hope that there are more than a few in this game. Mr. Alexander certainly has done his fair share of playmaking.
Got a quick first 15 minutes of play as the Texans drove 82 yards for the only score of the game, and now the Vikings are trying to counter. At the end of the 1st quarter, a 7-0 lead for the Texans on their home field. The Texans Television Network will continue from Houston right after these messages. Texans on top, but a drive and a time-consuming drive on the ground by the Vikings to turn it back at their 19-yard line. There's now 2nd and goal at the Texans 4. The first snap of the 2nd quarter. Hilliard, the single set. And it's a busted play on a false start.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's Pat Brown, the right tackle, in his 3rd season. Out of Central Florida, he's backing up the former Oklahoma Sooner, Phil Lodeholt.
Phil's a veteran guy, but again, coaches are always talking about holding your water when you're down here. It's loud, but you got to hold it, man. You got to take care of the football down here in the green zone. You work all this long to possess the ball. To get to that point, you have to finish.
Makes a big difference. You're now, the schedule changes because you were 2nd and goal to the 4. It's 2nd and goal to the 9. Ellison slides, rookie out of SC, 4th-round pick. Webb looking. He's got somebody in the flat, but it is all negated by the pressure in the backfield. The sack back at the 20. Bryant was back there again. I don't know if he'll get credit for the sack, but he had a nice early push. DJ Bryant, the rookie, out of James Madison.
Well, it was a clear community effort, that's for sure. And Bryant was part of that meeting at the quarterback. Again, the pressure, the games and deals up front. Crick coming around that outside. Again, several Texans made that play happen. The games and deals made it work. And the good thing about this one-gap technique, nobody ever gives up. Active all the time.
This is a guy that was not drafted, don't forget. Native of Baltimore. All conference in James Madison. It'll be 3rd and goal near the 18. Webb again scrambling away and throws it away out of the pocket. So the push came up the middle from Jared Crick, the rookie out of Nebraska, the 4th-round draft choice.
Yeah, and he's missed a lot of time in camp with the neck issue, but Jared Crick, remember at Nebraska, when they lost a great player who was the #1 draft pick of the Detroit Lions, Ndamukong Suh, they felt that this guy could step in and be a great player as well, and he was. But for a pectoral issue that he had, he actually tore his muscle in his pec and missed a lot of time. But he is expected to deliver some serious support up front on that defensive front.
It is going to be a 36-yard attempt for Walsh. He's missed from 43. This one is perfect. So a 36-yard field goal by Blair Walsh, their 6th-round pick, and a 4-point lead for the Texans. 7-3 Texans. We'll come back to Reliant after these messages from your local station. Welcome you back to Houston. It's a 7-3 lead now for the Texans. After the long drive stalled again. And good push up the middle. There's penetration. Antonio Smith coaching him up on the sideline.
Showing that arm over move that he's so known for. He's one of the unheralded players that plays in the interior because so much of the focus is on the outside rushers pushing among them. But boy, he makes opportunity happen for those guys.
Trendon Holiday waiting back for the kick from Blair Walsh, who just hit a 36-yard field goal. And Holiday, will he bring it out? About 8 yards deep, he will. Holiday looking over to the left side, turns the corner. He broke the containment and a good return. He takes it out all the way to the 27, tackling about 8 yards from the end zone. And we'll come right back. Another time out of the field. And it'll be the Texans taking over offensively with a 4-point lead as we come back after these messages from your local station. Game number 4 and a 4-point Texans lead. Power stats all brought to you by Reliant. And we talked about the efficiency of the ground game of the Vikings. They have been able to run the football early.
Well, it's been a problem that the Texans have had in the preseason. And Gary, obviously keeps that defense where it belongs with Wade Phillips, but he understands that's a problem. They've got to get shored up.
Texans have it at their own 28. Under the guidance of John, back and forth set. 3 carries, 59 yards to start the game. And he takes that one for close to 15 before he's brought down by Larry Dean.
The beautiful thing Forsett does when he runs, he stretches the play with that speed. And this isn't a patient move. This is just basically instinct, finding the void and sifting up through there, then running with pad level. Again, despite giving up about 14 pounds to the guy who tackled him, his weight allowed him to get underneath him, and the leverage allowed him to finish.
A little guy that you can use in the screen game as well, because don't forget, he had lost, and 3 years ago he had 41 catches for the Seahawks.
Extremely strong.
First down for the 42. Man, out on the edge, wide open. Lestar Jean, first down. Nice little dart thrown. Boy, Beck has made a case early, hasn't he?
That backside delay, shallow cross, a long developing play. You need to assure your ends if you're going to make it work. And Lestar Jean, we've seen him do it. He actually scored a couple of weeks ago on a similar play closer to the end zone. Again, the play action sold it. What made it work was the prior play. Forsett selling that stretch play allowed the defenders or forced them to defend it. And again, the backside opened well. Lestar Jean ran the shallow cross to perfection.
That's 2 snaps from the Texans 28 all the way down to the 31. Jonathan Grimes spinning his way. Boy, talk about a lasso around the ankle.
Like a whirling dervish through there. He's stepping through there, spinning and turning and churning. And I like Grimes, though. He's a smart kid, a judicious kid in terms of how he runs. Classically trained pianist. He does a great job of reading and reacting. Take a look at him against Carolina. Had some great wisdom here on this little screen play, not getting ahead of his blockers, finishing strong. Again, on the stretch play, inside, he can take it in and score. So he's a passionate player, smart player, can finish runs.
Gets 6 on first down, stays with the backfield as the single. Now looking for the hole, hits it hard. He's got a first down and a lot more. First and goal, all the way down to the 9, almost the 8.
And Joel, everything we just talked about in that little collage of plays, he demonstrated there. On the stretch play, 7 yards deep, he patiently waited despite the penetration, sifts up through there, stumble, fumble, fall, keep the drill going, head and shoulders forward all the time for progress. Grimes doing a great job, 15 attempts, 81 yards now, 55.4 yard average.
You can appreciate his vision on that kind of run.
Well, you have to have it. If you don't have the size that an Arian Foster does, you have to have some other asset that you can leverage.
Justin Forsett in the eye now. Good block by Moran Norris. Boy, stood up. The backer who came in. Man, it's a gain of 3 down to the 5. So we mentioned the drop by Moran Norris earlier. We're there. It's a nice one. He really sealed that for Forsett to get 3 out of the play.
And even though that looks like a nondescript play, you have to look at where you are. It's very difficult when you get in that red area to score. Obviously, we know that the field constricts, but just 3 or 4 yards and about 4 yards after the initial contact, that's a big time deal when you get close to that green area. 5 yards in, and Forsett was able to get that on that play.
Outside of the 5, second and goal, red zone opportunity. Problem spot last year. Man, again, back. He's got Lestar Jean and can't hang on, but it was thrown behind him.
It may have been thrown behind him, but Beck did just what he needed to do. It's so difficult to get that ball accurate when the pocket is moving real time. Lestar Jean has made that play in practice. Again, the play action sells it. The successful running plays, that ball, despite being on that back shoulder, should have been caught. You had a zone coverage packet behind it, 3 guys on either side. Beck just drills that ball in there. Tremendous effort. If you touch that one, you got to catch it. I know it's an athletic play, difficult, but Lestargine is capable of making that play.
And if he leads him a little bit, Eric Frampton's also in line to also make a play, the safety.
Yeah.
As I looked at that second look at it. So timeout will do it as well on a 3rd and goal for Gary Kubiak and the Texans. 4 minutes gone in a very entertaining second quarter. Texans by 4. We'll come back after these messages from your local station.
Vikings 7-3 in the second quarter. Get active for a good cause. 2012 Houston Texans, proud supporters of the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure, Saturday, October 6th, and we want you to walk with the team. Plus, registration is still open for the Running of the Bulls 5K run presented by HEB on Sunday, September the 23rd, which benefits the Houston Texans Foundation and the Methodist Hospital. For details on both events, go to HoustonTexans.com.
All right, thank you, Bob. As the Texans will put it back into play. With 10:55 left in the half. Gene on one side. Keyshawn Martin is going to be on the hip at the tight end. Bottom of your screen. Mail's also in there. Do they have enough men on the line? I think that's what Beck is saying. So it'll be 3rd and goal. Pressure, little pop. Grimes is there. Can't get home, or does he? Dives to the 1. Good effort.
It was a heck of a 2nd and 3rd effort. Great job of Beck getting rid of the ball and Grimes grinding down there trying to get the score. Despite 3 Viking defenders being all over him. Again, the pressure on the outside, the spin move caused Beck some trouble there, but he did get that ball out. Tremendous job.
Well, what an effort by Grimes, though, to get that deep.
Sharp Butler, though, on that left side, got a helicopter move on him, and he's got to do a better job, and it's tough when you get hurt in the process. Again, I don't know if we get a chance to see that again, but I'm going to show you exactly as Gary looks on what happened. And he's looking on with intention because Rashard Butler is the guy they're going to be counting on. That helicopter spin move is absolutely lethal. You have your arms extended and the guy spins and turns that backhand around you. He can dislocate it very easily.
So now the Texans will go for it, where they place the ball inside the 1. It'll be 4th and goal. Moran Norris in the backfield with Jonathan Grimes. So a bigger backfield. He's the larger one. And in the eye. It'll be Grimes. Does he get there? Don't believe so. He went low. They're going to put him down just shy of the end zone. So the Vikings hold, get it back on downs. Man, it'll stay a 4-point Texan lead.
Well, that's disappointing because, again, you want to be able to finish it. The early push and the surge up front by the Vikings was the key there. Not able to fend them off. And, again, good second effort, but I think they called him down, obviously, before he got to that point. Vikings do a great job of holding Grimes. Denied.
Time out of the field. 5 minutes gone in the second quarter. It stays 7-3 Texans. As we'll come back to Reliant after these messages from your local station. Don't forget to watch for Spencer Tillman's Rising Star of the Game. It's all powered by Royal Purple. It's going to be announced during the 4th quarter. It's your chance to win a Houston Texans VIP package, including tickets to the Texans-Packers game. So stay tuned. Stick around for the 4th and your chance to win. Let's head down to Bob Allen. Bob?
Yeah, guys, Rashard Butler just left the field. They took him off into the locker room. No official report on the injury yet, but with the guys going around tapping him on the helmet, and just by the body language, it doesn't look like it's good, but we'll get a full report for you later.
Well, J.J. Watt, earlier in the preseason, had an elbow problem. The way he clutched that arm and elbow. Sage Rosenfels out of the end zone. And it's complete. Jarius Wright, their 4th-round pick, the rookie out of Arkansas. Quentin Demps bolts him out of bounds.
Quentin came up and did an excellent job of making a play on the ball. First of all, the Vikings did a great job of protecting the former Texan, Sage Rosenfels, in the end zone. But again, Quentin Demps did an excellent job of finishing that play off.
Sage was with the Texans in 2006, 7, and 8. And he has not, believe it or not, played in an NFL game since. He's been in the league, but he hasn't been on the field. Nice move out of the backfield. Asiata takes it for a good gain. The 2nd-year man out of Utah before he's dropped by Troy Nolan. So it continues to be the ball movement on the ground. Well, he did the Vikings.
Yeah, Asiata did an excellent job of freezing Mister and in that hole. And when he looked and saw the read was going to take him inside, he just froze him just for a second. And he got got caught in the wash and was able to bounce the ball outside for a big gain.
So 2 snaps and 24 yards from the 1 out to the 25, and breathing room for Sage Rosenfels. Last 3 years he's been with the Giants and the Vikings. Now out of the gun. Here comes the heat. He's on his way down. Whitney Merciless on that side, the recipient of the pressure up the gut that flushed him out.
He came in with the team leading 2.5 sacks for this one, and he shows you again on that play why he's so dangerous. Look at the speed move underneath, the pressure to stay active and moving upfield toward the target and the quarterback. The good thing about a guy rushing from the outside, he always sees where the quarterback is, and his athleticism allows him to get it.
Illegal formation. Offense number 73. Lined up in the backfield. Penalties decline. Second down.
He's such an athletic player. You know, the #1 draft pick. A lot of people were thinking that the Texans needed to go with a wide receiver, but I'll tell you, with the emergence of the 2 youngsters that have emerged at the wide out spot, this pick looks more brilliant each day.
26th overall. So that's late in the first round. Hilliard back in there as they set up Ellison in a 2 tight end formation. Rosenfels on the out, and it's off the fingertips, blown away on the fastball. Oromoshadu. And there is a flag. Did they get to Rosenfels late?
Yeah, they were a little bit late on that. The Texans were aggressive, and it's what they do, but again, you have to be smart about it.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 97. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It's called on Mitch King. He has been able to get into the backfield. On the previous play, Merciless got the sack because of his penetration.
Somebody's going to be free because of the scheme that they play. It's just a matter of where they're going to be free. And when you get there, you got to be cognizant of the fact that the ball is away.
So on the personal foul, up to the 40, first down, Minnesota. Inside of 8.5 left in the half. Right, the motion man. And out in the flat, it's complete. Ellison with a flag on the play from the referee, where you normally see a holding call. And that's their 4th round pick tight end, kind of H-back out of USC.
Yeah, slow developing crossing route typically means that there is a holding penalty on that particular play. And again, it's usually the lineman.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Pat Brown. Second time.
Pat's a tackle. You know, those tackles are good at getting their arms extended, but the problem with that is you're in the clear line of sight of an official who sees that. On a slow developing play like that, if it's not a run play, your arms extended are going to catch you every time, particularly when you go to the head.
10-yard mark off.
You can see the arms at the top of your screen. Again, hands to the head. You can see he's got the face mask.
He's working against Browner. Rosenfels on the deep drop, and they converge. He loses the football, and it's going to be picked up, but it's a penalty on the Texans, I believe. It's going to be a face mask as they pull down Rosenfels as they scramble for it inside the 20. It looked like a face mask on the quarterback.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be another personal foul. And again, I think the thing about it is you want to be aggressive, but you have to be smart. The league is going to protect the quarterback at all costs, especially on the heels of another penalty. Gary is incredulous about the call, but if you look at it again, I think it's going to be clear that they had his face mask.
So Dobbins at the bottom of the pile. It's been that kind of preseason for Dobbins. He always gets to it.
Yeah, Gary's making the argument that the ball was loose.
The ball was loose.
Yeah.
We'll wait for the official, and it's a replacement official, of course, as Donovan Briggins is the referee tonight at Reliant. And unfortunately, we heard over the last couple of days they have not been able to settle with the regular officials. So the replacement officials are going to be working week 1.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 65. Contact to the helmet. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Call it on Keith Browner.
Again, this isn't rocket science. Again, when you get a hand to the face here, Browner's reaching on the other side. It's kind of tough to see it from that angle.
Tough.
Very tough to see it from that angle. But again, in the defense of the official, the throw comes from here. Here's the official that sees it and calls it from that angle. Yeah, it's a tough call, but the official said he felt he had the angle to make that play.
So a break for the Vikings. You can understand the frustration for Gary Kubiak.
Gary's not happy about that.
They're getting the pass rush. And you saw the question from Gary Kubiak because he wanted to appeal it if the ball is out first.
Shannon Easton he's talking to now is the female referee out there having a conversation with her. Shannon didn't actually make that call. He did.
And is it a spot foul?
Correction, because the foul occurred behind the line of scrimmage, the ball will be placed at the dead ball spot and enforced to the previous line of scrimmage. First down.
So Donovan Braggin's making that adjustment there, and people say, is there a difference? And again, not to wage an argument either side, there is a difference. We had a couple of cases just last week where the half ended on a defensive penalty. It never should have happened in that situation, and it can determine the outcome of games. So if you're wondering if it matters, it does matter.
There's no question you want the very best on the field. But the negotiations hopefully will continue between the two parties. And we'll get a real quick resolution because they need the regular referees and officials out there.
Let's just hope the outcome is similar to the way it was for the players earlier, obviously last year.
It's a night where both teams have to get down to 53 by tomorrow. So we've talked about the importance of the game for so many of the Texans. And they're top heavy in the secondary. That's one area they've got to really trim.
Well, and the thing about it is the Texans have so many great players that are back there. The secondary is the strength of this team right now with number 99 out up front.
It'll be a first down at the 30. Not much available that time on the carry, but squirting out. It'll take to the 32-yard line. Bottom of the pile, Nolan up on the run support. And they'll take out Todman on the carry in his second year out of UConn. He was the 6th round pick of the Chargers last year, so one snap and done. It'll be 2nd and 8. Asiato. He's been the workhorse for the most part for Minnesota on the ground, and both head coaches trying to get the ground game going. You saw it from the Texans as well. Forsett early, Grimes in the second quarter, and both teams have been successful running the football tonight.
Well, both of them came in this game with the understanding, if you will, for lack of a better word, that they would run the football. Neither one of them wanting to put their receivers in jeopardy.
1st and 10 line this quarter brought to you by NFL Ticket Exchange by Ticketmaster. So Sage Rosenfels out of the shotgun. Needs 5. Slips away from the heat. And waiting for Ellison with a first down with a great spot. He cut it at about the 46-47, and they give him the 48.
Shiloh Ko was on the coverage there. You got to make a better step to the ball on that particular play. Sage had all kinds of time, decent pressure up front, but again, Sage plenty of time, way too much time to make that play to a tight end, and he paid for it on the back end of that. Dobbins does a great job of finishing off. Official doesn't call it, but I thought the ball may have been away there.
Yeah, but the point is he didn't lead. It wasn't a crown. It was just it was a chest or a shoulder at the most.
But you know, my friend, they're protecting the quarterback big time.
Schulter's the tight end in motion, and now Rosenfels on an ad lib finds Ellison, not his primary. Man, he takes his shot going out of bounds. Mr. Alexander lost his helmet
Yeah, the thing about it was his battery mate. There was Quentin Demps flying in there making a play. And you can see the reception, and look at this. Alexander, and Quentin takes his helmet off. Hey, buddy, you're on my side.
When your job is at stake,
that's the way you play.
That's absolutely the way you have to play.
You know, people talk about playing the game violently. That's the way this game is inherently designed. I mean, it's about contact.
Now, his helmet came off out of bounds. If it came off inbounds, he'd have to leave for a play.
That's right.
With the new rule this year. Rosenfeld's going deep, and he's got a man wide open, and he misses him. Oromoshadu was available. He can't believe it.
Yeah, Sage can't believe it either. I mean, they had it looked like a cover 3 look or a single safety look, which means the safety has to cover half the field. That's a lot of water to make up for that ground over on the backside with Troy Nolan trying to cover that space.
He had bracketed. Harris was up. Nolan was back, but there was a lot of room between. So now 3rd and 7 at the 49.
Get to a cover 2 look now. I get beat that way again.
Here comes the pressure, and it forced an early release by Rosenfeld for Emmanuel Arsenault out of Alcorn State. It's incomplete. Allen Ball on the coverage.
Allen showing some of that veteran play here. Allen Ball camped inside, the eyes, the flash to understand exactly what the quarterback's intentions were. He got his body in between that ball and the receiver. Excellent coverage job by the 5-year veteran.
Chris Kluwe into punt. Back deep. It is going to be Trendon Holiday waiting at the 10. Kluwe on 6 punts last week had a net average of 50 yards. The former UCLA Bruin sends out a beauty well over the head of Holiday into the end zone. So the Texans will get it for the 4th time here in the first half with 4:41 to play. It's a 7-3 lead for the Texans. We'll come back to Reliant after these messages from your local station. HoustonTexans.com, and thanks for coming through with a great effort. We have already received some. We want more from you. So right now, go to fanpicks@HoustonTexans.com. That's the email address, fanpicks@HoustonTexans.com. Download them, send them our way, and you'll be on the air. And get ready for a great regular season for the Texans.
It's a family affair.
Sly and the Family Stone.
You bet. Very nice.
You sing very well. From the 20. It's a first down for the Texans as they lead it 7-3. For set. Offset with Moran Norris, and now a heat and a good read. The catch complete, and will he go the distance? What a play by Posey. DeVere Posey needed it.
Wow.
He's got it. Touchdown. Looking for his first catch of the preseason. That's pretty impressive.
Well, they said of Posey that he was a player that had been dormant on the slant away. The Vikings on the back end relaxed too much. He's been out of football essentially for a year, saving OTAs in practice because of Tattoo Gate at Ohio State. Number 11 shows you some of that playmaking, breaking ability. Got that big body, takes the shot, seeds the ball properly, and then shows you on the big end he's got enough speed. Look at that loping stride to separate from linebackers, coverage men on the back end. Posey possessing and scoring.
Shane Graham in for the point after. Man, very quickly. An 11-point lead, and everybody's been talking about the 4th-round pick, Keyshawn Martin. Well, Keyshawn fumbled it twice. He's dropped the ball tonight, and everybody said, when is Posey going to show up? Well, that's his first catch of the preseason, and it went for 80.
And it was absolutely huge. And again, the timing couldn't be any better. I call it the element of recency. What they see last, they believe and expect and appreciate most. And Posey's leaving a tremendous impression in this last preseason game, showing you why he was picked before Keyshawn Martin. And again, Beck paid for it on that particular play. Again, the pressure away, that's what sold the play and made it work in the first place. The Vikings were fully committed to rushing the quarterback. The play action sold it. Posey, excellent job making his quarterback happy.
I talked about the lack of experience behind Andre Johnson and Kevin Walter. The 3 behind them, though, Lestargine, along with Keyshawn Martin and DeVere Posey. That's the first 5, and hopefully the 3 that we're looking at right now continue to play at a good rate.
Well, all 3 of them have been outstanding. Remember now, when we started this year, receiver was a big weakness. You had 2 31-year-old wideouts, Kevin Walter, and of course, number 80, Andre Johnson, opposite of him. Lestargine, A little question mark about him not active most of the year last year, of course, and then Keyshawn Martin. Larry Kirksey, the wide receiver coach, absolutely ecstatic about himself right now. So what was a weakness tonight has become a glaring strength.
Shane Graham kicks it away and kicks it well. It'll be Stephen Burton, 6-7 yards into the end zone coming out. Man gets a little kick out over to the left side past the 20, but it's Alan Ball on specials bringing him down. Hashtag HT Preseason if you'd like to get into the conversation. Questions, comments, you can ask Spencer anything you like. And he will reply tonight.
Anything.
Up until midnight Eastern. So the Vikings get it at their own 21. Trailing now by 11. The defense back on the field. Out of the backfield. Quick handoff and a little counter action. It was Lex Hilliard once again out of Montana. Free agent signing from Miami. But Mr. Alexander is showing up on tape early, isn't he?
He really is, and he's got a front shot because the helmet has been off a number of times. Inbounds, out of bounds, he's active.
Now he has to leave.
Fixed. Yeah.
He has to leave.
He absolutely does because of the new rule. You know, one thing about this defense is it plays exceptionally well with a lead. They're going to even get more aggressive as we move on. Again, Vikings want to win this one, so they'll pass, expect more sacks on the way.
Jesse Nady has taken over at linebacker. Now Rosenfeld's off the play for him. DJ Bryant had a shot at him. He's going the other way now. Whitney Merciless. And it's completion. Oroma should do. Gets to it, but not much there. Right back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
Well, Merciless and company again. Asking the lineman to protect that much to an aggressive line in a 3-4 is next to impossible, especially with number 59. Watched him all last year from that down position or up for the Fighting Illini. He was absolutely unblockable, and that's the reason why they picked him #1 in the draft for the Houston Texans. He is a playmaker that's flexible and fast.
16 sacks, forced 9 fumbles. That's really impressive. Now on 3rd and long, little stunt up front. Bent behind Oromashadu and in and out of his hands. Over on the coverage, it was Rock Carmichael. Got there a little bit late, put in time at the end.
Yeah, Rock is one of those guys that we talked about in our open that needs to show well on the back end. He's fighting for a job, and number 20 does an excellent job. A little late, as you said, closing on that particular play. But it's tough to stay in the hip pocket of a receiver when the quarterback has a lot of time. There was pressure there. Rock did a pretty good job in coverage.
Left elbow injury for Rashad Butler. He is not going to return. Kluwe into punt. Holiday back to 35.
Oh, good. This is going to be a good return.
Holiday backpedaling. Looks from the 20. And is down in a hurry at about the 24.
Well, the coverage teams covered with integrity on that play big time, because with so much water to navigate, number 16 had a chance to get them vertical and commit and then get to the sidelines, but the Vikings denied him.
There is a flag down at about the 28-yard line. Can't take that long, guys.
During the return, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 83, Minnesota. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the dead ball spot. First down.
That's their tight end, Alan Reisner, out of Iowa. We'll stay tuned. Halftime report coming up with Bob Allen. It's all brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the Houston Texans scratch-off game from the lottery, and maybe it's your lucky day. As Bob is going to explain all about the Bulls on parade. Hear from both Sean Cody and J.J. Watt. And Spencer's going to break down some of the numbers, some of the plays for the first 30 minutes. We've got 2:51 left, and all of a sudden much better field position for the Texans. They're going to have it at their own 39, up by 11.
There's J.J. Watt, number 99 there.
And it was up to him. He'd play.
Oh, yeah.
He'd play today because he wanted to get back for the final preseason game.
Yeah, he had that dislocated elbow and was actually doing push-ups about a week and a half later.
It'll be a little delay, and there's going to be a hole, bringing back the 6-yard pickup. 5-4 set.
Holding, offense number 67, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Donovan Briggins has been busy tonight, the referee, and Gary, you know, I guarantee you he, along with Frazier, wants to get out of this game with his guys healthy and intact. But when it starts to get sloppy like this, it does become a concern, because that's when guys come up with injuries.
Call it on Cody White, the guard. So now it's going to be 1st and 20. But still positive yards from Forsett. The hold may have had something to do with it.
You think?
Logan Brock, the motion man. And now a little bubble action. I like it for Lestar-Jean. He gets the penalty yardage back, +2. He got 12 up to the 41, brought down by Audie Cole. Boy, the lugs got out in a hurry.
Yeah, we used to call this the old crap swing. It's one of those screens with a lot of stuff going on around you. But you know what happens is, if you're patient enough, you can get some good yardage out of it. But it takes a lot of courage to make that play.
It was good to see Ben Jones get out there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the draft choice, the rookie out of Georgia, 4th-round pick. So we'll take a timeout with the 2-minute warning arriving. And make it 20 seconds. It looked like the 2-minute warning, though. Texans by 11 as we come right back. And I guarantee you neither coach was complaining a lot, because it's the final preseason game, and already Rashad Butler is left with an elbow injury for Gary Kubiak. But let's see what the Texans can do now with so many backups in there in the 2-minute drill.
Tick, 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 tick. That's the strategy.
John Beck has been impressive.
Yeah, he really has. You know, he's last 3 drives he's been outstanding. If you look at the numbers there, the time of possession, also big time, the results were impressive. 2 touchdowns out of those 3 possessions.
Penalties have brought some plays back to negate opportunities for the Texans.
And the thing you like about those, all those were sustained drives, beginning on the average of somewhere about the 24-yard line. Big time football play right there.
Well, the ripple effect, and you've talked about it before, where a John Beck, who's fighting for the 3rd spot, or a Trindon Holiday, who is fighting for the 6th spot at wide receiver, it can impact so many other positions. Absolutely. Because it takes away that spot.
Yeah, the context determines your strategy. Obviously, we knew that a 5th-round undrafted quarterback took this team to win its first playoff victory last year. So you know you had problems with quarterbacks, and so you have to weigh all of that.
Grimes in motion out of the backfield. 2nd and 8. Man, the false start.
Nathan Macon over there.
False start, offense, number 43, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, they say the motion man was headed towards the line of scrimmage too soon. Grimes.
Yeah, Jonathan Grimes, that was an interesting call, because Minkins definitely looked like he kick-stepped out of there, the left tackle. I didn't quite see Grimes make that mistake.
Make it 2nd and 13. Empty backfield on the highest snap. Beck's got heat from behind, doesn't feel it. And he's down. First sack of the game is back to the 33. It's Nick Reed getting in there for the Vikings.
Well, they emptied the backfield. Grimes was in motion. Again, you're not going to have a long time to get it out and release. The clock starts ticking around 3.7 seconds. If that ball's not out, not a lot of good happens.
Well, we spent a few minutes with TJ Yates yesterday, and we talked about how many times he's been on his back.
You bet. And again, I think he may have been sacked 8 times during the stretch when he was in there. All of last year in the games that he played, 6 of them. In for the injured Matt Schaub, who missed with that Liz Frank injury to the right foot. But he's been sacked that many times in the preseason in the 2 times he's showed. So you want to go into these contests, as Beck is experienced now, on momentum, not adversity.
Well, the good thing about that for Beck was he didn't throw it away.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about to the opposition. He didn't panic. Stay tuned. Bob Allen, halftime report, Texas Lottery halftime report. Where these Texans scratch-off game for the Texas Lottery, and maybe it's your lucky day. So Bob comes up in another minute 53. Delay for Grimes. Yeah. He got about 8 after all is said and done. And a punting situation coming up now for the Texans. There's Blant out of the secondary made the stop. And Leslie Frazier and the Vikings want to see what they can do in their 2-minute drill with a $1:44 to play. And they'll stop the clock.
Grimes gave it all he could on that particular play. I actually probably gave up a little bit of ground on that one, and he got about 3 or 4 yards of it back. But coaches are going to be looking for a running back that will keep his shoulders upfield, and that's Chick Harris, longtime veteran running backs coach to his left, coaching him up on those finer points.
He's an original.
Absolutely.
He's one of the few that's been here all 11.
One of the best, along with Joe Marciano, who's there on the right in front of Joaquin Iglesias, number 19. He's a special coach who's been doing it a long time.
Let's head downstairs, Bob.
Yeah, guys, wine and dine with Texans players at the Taste of the Texans, presented by BP on Monday, November the 5th. Fans can sample food from 25 of Houston's finest restaurants, with event proceeds benefiting the Houston Food Bank and the Methodist Hospital. Secure your tickets today at HoustonTexans.com.
A wobbler. It'll die inside the 20. And it worked down to the 16. So that's where the Vikings will have it for the 5th time in the first half. And let's see if the defense can potentially come up with a big play, a takeaway. As Iglesias trying to earn a spot on this, former Oklahoma Sooner, trying to make it on specials, because it's going to be tough to make it as a wide receiver with the Texans. We already talked about the first 5, and then Holiday would be number 6.
Make no question about it. There are going to be some pretty good football players that don't make this ball club, and that is always the case in the National Football League, but especially with a team who many people believe could be playing for a Super Bowl championship this year, defending AFC South champions.
Oh, we've got a timeout on the field for review. The first half would not be complete in the final preseason game without at least one review.
Gotta have it.
So the strength we talked about defensively, the secondary, but let's not forget what the guys up front have meant to this organization now, and the way it's transpired, because the guys on the back end are only as good as J.J. Watt, Brooks Reed, Antonio Smith. I could go down the list. Sean Cody, Earl Mitchell. It's been an interesting development, and they're going to be looking at the punt play.
Well, once Donovan Braggins goes underneath that booth, he's got about a minute, to make that decision. That's what they're shooting for as a goal. And again, for you prognosticators out there, judging whether or not it makes a difference. Let's see.
From our vantage point, this seems like a very serious waste of time.
What's he
but
doing
back to the front for Gary Kubiak and the way it's transformed with Wade Phillips coming in with the 3-4. It's just been an amazing transition in a very short period of time.
Well, the reason why they've been able to go from like 32nd to 2nd in defense was a combination of having outside coverage guys. That was the biggest issue. J. Joe on the outside, the corners allowed this team to take a little bit more gambles when you have shut down corners. And another thing, Kareem Jackson, the #1 draft pick a couple of years ago from Alabama, has improved greatly. So I asked Wade just the other day, is this defense in a position to be better than it was even last year? And he did not hesitate. He said, absolutely.
They do know, these coaches want to check at halftime Rice UCLA.
Well, Gary's got reason, and so does
Leslie.
Yeah, both got sons playing over there. Well, at least Donovan's out from underneath the hood, still not able to make a decision. So he's supposed to emerge from that with a decision having been made.
They're calling Whataburger. I want a triple right now. Man, oh man. We knew this was going to happen, though, because it was a record-setting pace in the first quarter of play. Okay, we got it ironed out.
He's got an escort and everything.
They are oblivious to the surroundings right now.
Oh, my goodness. Keystone referees.
So we'll see if they change the spot. It's at the 16 now. And it looked like they were talking about the Gunners.
Wow.
Now Leslie Frazier at 3-13. is bringing back essentially a lot of the personnel that went 3-13. But when I say that, they were missing some guys like Jasper Brinkley, who was on injured reserve last year. He had a bad knee, the middle linebacker. They had some key components. They were out defensively because they gave up a ton of points.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can figure out what this was all about again. The Gunners play a key role in being able to return effectively. And when they're blocked, you can take a look up top. You know, if you're out of bounds, you can make your way back inbounds. And I'm not quite sure what was wrong with that. I mean, that Gunners get bounced out of bounds all the time. You have to make an effort to get back in the bounds. I don't think that was a violation.
Don't they know you have a train to catch?
I've got a plane to catch. The look of the Irish.
I mean, I like the look on Gary, though.
Oh, my goodness.
Now the fans are in disbelief, and I do not blame the fans at all.
Oh, goodness.
As I said, they're oblivious to the surroundings, like they're in a building by themselves.
Gary's like, are you kidding me?
This will only accelerate the negotiation process between the league and the officials.
Well,
by the kicking team. There's going to be a 5-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot. 4th down.
That took 6 minutes. 5 yards, 6 minutes.
5 minutes and 44 seconds.
I'm going 6. Rounding it off.
Rounding it up. All right.
Could never do that full one, so I had to do a round off.
Oh, man. And they're still haven't decided yet, apparently.
Where are they taking this to? Oh, it's a repunt. They're punting it over now.
Well, that's
the option belongs to
us, though.
The option belongs to the Vikings.
Right.
So it's a 5-yard mark off, punt once again.
That should have been asked before he told us what the offending team decided to do, or offended team decided to do.
We're losing our audience. It's amazing. 93 seconds left. Fortunately, they're not going back under the hood to look if they need to put extra time on the clock. So going back deep for the Vikings. Once again, it's going to be Jarius Wright, a rookie 4th-round pick out of Arkansas. It looks pretty good. He's had a couple of touches in the first half.
He's a big-time return man. I can tell you that, having watched him in the SEC for a number of years at Arkansas, he along with Childs and company, they are dangerous return men.
Jones gets into it, backpedaling. It's Wright. He spins away from one, and they lose about 6 yards on it. They'll give him the 11. He never crossed the 10. It'll be put at the 11. Jesse Nadine down there, along with quick little Justin Forsett.
Yeah, Brandon Harris was down there as well, and again, several Texans showing you how aggressive they are. Good special teams pressure. Sherrick McManus coming on the outside, forcing the return man away from him, and all of his battery mates, JLKO, over the top. Excellent job of avoiding another penalty and another delay.
So from the 11, and we mentioned, what about a takeaway? There's yet to be a takeaway in the half. Texans did a good job of that in the second half of last season. Here comes Rosenfels, and they almost took it away because he was blindsided. I mean, he was absolutely engulfed by DJ Bryant, who's putting together some serious footage for the coaches to look at.
Yeah, Merciless was on that side as well, and company, and Bryant got the pressure. You see 59 as well at the point of the attack. All of those guys were right there. Bryant and company, great job of affecting the quarterback, and again, collapsing that pocket. You had Crick up the middle and company. All of them converging on Sage to make his life miserable.
That's undrafted DJ Bryant out of James Madison. Big first half for the Baltimore native. 2nd and 10 from the 11. Here comes the heat. Man, over the top on a post corner route it looked like, and it's complete. That's a pretty strong throw. Wright's got it, but how about Rosenfels, who got clobbered again at the end of the play?
Well, he took a penalty for it, but the beautiful thing about it, if you're going to try to make that pass and make it work, you got to make it pay off on the other end. He does a great job of going up and getting it for his quarterback, who took a beating on the other side. Here's another look at it. Merciless does a great job coming to the right side, putting more pressure on Sage. He's been on the left side, the right side. They move him around all over the place.
So Merciless jolts him, right into the knee of DJ Bryant, who's on the backside. It'll be a first down. Quite a throw by Sage Rosenfeld. It's a screen and a good call. The gain across the 42 as they're really going after the quarterback. That'll slow him down a little bit. Just a gain of 9 brought down by KO.
Yeah, they're just taking advantage of the fact that wherever Merciless lines up, they know he's coming after the quarterback and trying to curtail that aggression over there on that right side, left side in that particular case.
One timeout left for Rosenfels. And deep down the middle, it's complete. Aroma Shadu. Will he take it? Yes. So the collision was there, and maybe even a little bit early. It looked like Troy Nolan with the contact. But Aroma Shadu takes it the distance. Forget about a takeaway. They went 89 yards.
And that's big for them. Again, you can take a look at Aroma Shadu. Runs a little skinny post corner route. Again, safety position. Dent comes up and make a great play. A break on the ball in that single safety look. But Aroma Shadu does a great job in traffic. Again, 3 defenders around him. And he somehow comes up with that football and scores with it.
Walsh in for the point after. Man, a little momentum into the locker room for the Vikings to make it once again a 4-point game. So the long pass play by Sage Rosenfels. I'm not bringing up the Indianapolis Colts game at all.
The helicopter move.
Not bringing it up. 14-10 with 33 seconds left in the half. Hashtag HT Preseason. If you'd like to get in on the conversation and tweet your way towards Spencer Tillman.
Well, I bet the Twitter sphere is alive right now.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, the Twitter sphere. Twitter sphere alive with activity about the officials right about now. It's got to be, man.
So get in on the conversation. Well, another opportunity for a touch for Trendon Holiday, who we talked about at the very top of the telecast with a 64-yard return last week. He's had 2 touchdown returns, 80 and 90 yards. And now it'll be Walsh.
You see, everybody's upset about the officials. I mean, she's upset. Everybody's trying to get out of here.
Don't mess. Don't mess with him. Now Holiday. 7 yards in, bobbles in, and should stay there and will. Boy, he's such a good kid. We spent a few minutes with him yesterday, and he's just got a good attitude. You know, the first 2 years he was basically hurt. Last year on injured reserve.
Yeah, he just took his eyes off the ball really quickly. And again, that's a bang-bang kind of a play, but he wanted to bring it out. But you got to seat that ball in properly. And I like when he catches it with his hand sometimes. Joe Marciano's got a little bit of advice for him. You know, when you're returning the ball, whether it's a punt or kick return, there's a chance for you to pluck that ball out of the air, particularly when it's in the end zone. Your other option is, of course, not to bring it out. He's got great enough hands where he can do that.
Take a knee, and that'll do it. Texans take it to the locker room and trying to go 3-1 in the preseason game. They're halfway there. So coming off a loss in New Orleans, John Beck making a statement to stick around as the 3rd quarterback behind.
We'll see if Case Keenum, if he gets some action, if he can make a case for himself.
Right. He's trying to back up Yates. Of course, Matt Schaub, the #1 quarterback, and that would be Keenum going to the practice squad then, and that may still be the case either way. Our halftime score, it is 14-10. Texans on top of the Vikings. Stick around. We'll come right back with Bob Allen and the Texas Lottery halftime report in Houston. We're back after these messages from your local station. And welcome back once again to Reliant. 14-10 at the break. Texans trying to go 3-1 in the preseason. The Vikings trying to get the even at 2-2. Power Stats brought to you at the break by Reliant Energy. And the rushing yards stand out. A lot given up. But we're talking about seconds and thirds out there for the Texans.
Yeah, I think you can tell by the numbers that how both these teams have declared that they want to run the football. The Texans averaged 153.2 yards last year. They have about over half that right now, and it's just amazing that this team is in a situation now where they're still struggling a little bit in some areas that have been a strain for them, and obviously both of them want to get out of here.
Let's join Bob Allen. Bob.
Defensively, we gave up some big plays, so we're playing a lot of guys, and some new faces stood out, and that's what we're looking for.
All right, thank you, Gary.
Okay.
Coach Kubiak's interview brought to you by Warehouse Pool Supply.
Maybe we can go back down to Bob at some point in time as we look at Beck, who had a brilliant first half, because I think I overheard Gary say that it didn't look too good right now, and referring to Jonathan Butler, I believe.
Rashard.
Was it Rashard? Yeah, my bad. Rashard on that particular play that he got injured on. So Rashard Butler, they can ill afford to lose a tackle.
And Bob Allen, maybe we can bring Bob in right now because we had technical difficulties at the outset of your interview, and maybe you could give us a bit of a synopsis, Bob, of the first 30 seconds at least of it. Is Bob available? Okay. The problem still exists with Bob's microphone. Jordan Todman is waiting back deep, so now TJ Yates talking it over with John Beck after a very efficient first half for Beck. And Beck's numbers, 6 of 10 for 149 yards. Bob Allen, just a kind of wrapping things up on the Kubiak interview, the first part especially.
Yeah, guys, I just got finished talking to Gary Kubiak. I asked him about Rashard Butler. He said he hates to jump the gun, but he said it doesn't look good right now. And Gary's usually one. He's pretty conservative when he's talking about injuries, but that does not sound like good news about the Rashard Butler season.
And that's your starting on the right side of the offensive line.
Which again is revamped and reclaimed and reconstituted, however you want to phrase it. That right side showed some problematic signs even as early as last week, when a couple of times when they on the scoring drive, there were like 2 scoring drives, 13 plays, they had -9 yards on those plays on the run to the right side. So that was a question mark.
And Gary had said that Derek Newton earlier this week is going to start, but it's interchangeable parts the way those two have played, where Butler could be the potential starter down the road, but elbow injury now, and we'll wait for the diagnosis after the game. Todman stays in the backfield. Man, a good move to the outside, takes him across the 25 from the 22, their starting point at the 26. The quarterback is McLeod Bethel Thompson in his second season out of Sacramento State, out of a famous high school, in fact, Balboa High in San Francisco. He's played in the Arena League. He's also spent time on Miami's practice squad last year and trying to make a case to stick around here. Practice squad guy, potentially. It'll be 2nd and 6. And out the flat, Todman again. And brought down quickly after a gain of about a yard by Jesse Nading. Good coverage on the back of the flat.
Jesse Johnny on the spot there on that play, closing, showing you some of that great pursuit speed there by number 57, Nading. Tremendous job of closing on that play and keeping the damage minimal. You know, we're looking at the Vikings offense clearly, but to advance the story on what's going to be happening on the right side of that offensive line for the Texans is really going to be a major issue as we move forward.
And let's remember that there are going to be experienced guys on the waiver wire soon. As quickly as this weekend. Here comes the heat, and in and out of the hands. It should have been a catch for Burton, and it falls incomplete. That's a good job by the quarterback to elude pressure. And again, Bryant making a case. And don't forget, Bryant is an undrafted rookie free agent who could go to the practice squad.
Well, again, you're going to see Bryant come from outside here, put the pressure on the quarterback. Crick was opposite of that, converging on the quarterback to collapse that pocket, and made a tremendous play on the quarterback, creating pressure.
So just about 90 seconds into the third. Trendon Holiday, another opportunity. So he waits back at the 30. And will they get it off in time? Yes. Kluwe hangs up a good one. Holiday back at the 24. And he's got a nice lane up the middle. There goes Holiday to the outside. He's gone. Trendon Holiday is going to do it once again. Touchdown, Texans. His third touchdown return of the preseason.
we set in the open, again, particularly with a lot of water to navigate. Once he gets vertical and forces coverage units to converge on him, he is absolutely lethal. We set in the open, he's made this team. He's done nothing to discredit that statements early on. He is a tremendous asset to this coverage unit.
So the Texans now try to make it an 11-point lead. It's official. It's 20-10. Shane Graham in for the point after. So 76 yards on the return for Trendon Holiday. He has been spectacular this entire preseason. Texans by 11, 21-10. And we'll come back after messages from your local station. It's an 11-point lead thanks to Trendon Holiday. And by the way, the Texans are carrying 6 wide receivers this year.
You think? Trendon Holiday is a game changer. I mean, because his speed makes teams declare what they're going to do. When he gets vertical, at some point in time, a coverage unit will not stay fanned out. They've got to close, and then that's when he's able to outrun those people.
Scoreboard this quarter is brought to you by Mazda. Burton only to the 20. Good coverage. Now, a look again at Trendon Holiday.
Well, again, first of all, what makes it work is he had plenty of space to field the ball, okay? Well, look at the water between the coverage unit. Nice spacing between everybody else, but that means there's going to be a void there someplace. Less than aggressive action trying to close. The kicker also involved in that as well. Listen, the Vikings look like they mailed it in on that play, but take nothing away from number 16. That guy is a game changer.
Well, there's not much to get a hold of to begin with, and especially with his speed. It'll be a first down for the 20. And another good run for a first down. That's Jordan Todman, the former Big East Offensive Player of the Year in 2010 out of UConn.
Yeah, he's a baller, you know, again, an unheralded player. But one of the things that I'm noticing in this game, there's a lot of grabbing going on right now. And again, people get hurt when you don't stick to the fundamentals of football. The Texans have got to shore themselves up. They can't afford to have the injuries on the defensive side of the ball, particularly up front with number 99 out and others. They've got to finish this and play the game the way it was designed, and that's aggressive.
From outside the 30. Feet on the quarterback, but the completion is there to Arsenault. He spent 2 seasons in the CFL with the BC Lions. He's brought down by Brandon Harris very quickly. He came to Minnesota last year. So 2.5 minutes in, he picks up 6 on that catch. Quick start to the second half for the Texans.
Arsenault's a dangerous wide receiver. He's like 6'2", 215. He's got a big body. He's the type of guy that's starting to become the prototypical receiver in the NFL.
Jordan Todman again. He should have the first down. And where will they spot him? You're right at the marker. What we really need in this game, we haven't had enough of, is measurements.
Sheriff McManus came up and made a great play on that particular play. Again, submarine and the runner, C number 22, avoids a guy trying to block him. Linemen hate it when you go low on them.
Yeah, give up your body like that. It'll be a first down by the length of the football across the 40. Going for the bundle, and it's available, and there is Wright out in the open. Touchdown, Minnesota. So Brandon Harris was looking for KO and help from the safety, and a breakdown to the secondary.
Shallow KO is back there in that single safety look again. That's a lot of water. He doesn't have the greatest speed in the world. Again, he's back here in the middle of the field. He's got to cover that whole third of the field. Bad pursuit angle and not enough speed to finish that play off and keep Wright from getting into the end zone.
And the pass by Bethel Thompson. Hit him in stride, right on target. So Blair Walsh in for the point after. Once again, making a 4-point deficit. And that's what we've got by 21-17 ball game. So we're just about 4 minutes into the third. We'll come right back to Real Lion. They're putting some points up tonight, aren't they? Preseason game number 4, back to a 4-point ball game. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Back in Houston, and now some of the tweets. They like DeVere Posey getting involved. I agree. Let's see him do it again. His first catch of the preseason.
So many weapons in that receiving core for Gary Kubiak. His challenge is going to be finding which one to get the ball to.
No mercy, merciless.
Yes, very nice.
Right. Case Keenum, he's coming up next. Will he get a touch? Yes, Forsett. So the night is done for Trendon Holiday after bringing it back on a punt return of 76 yards. They put back Justin Forsett. And we will see Case Keenum, the former Cougar, with DeVere Posey. Can he do it again when we come back after these words from your local station? 11:22 left in the third. A 4-point lead for the Texans. First and 10 line as they put it back into play with Case Keenum at quarterback. It is brought to you by Royal Purple. So Keenum and Forsett, the combination for the Texans on their first possession, don't forget, of the second half. They've got a touchdown, but that was on the long punt return. And now Keenum's got to buy some time and does, and overshoots his intended target as you're looking for DeVere Posey, the big wideout. And a nice pickup by little Forsett. And then I like the sidestep by Keenum, the footwork, because there was heat right away.
Yeah, Forsett giving up about 40 pounds to the guy he's trying to block. Did a nice job of stepping up, but there was a poor throw by Case on that play. The pressure was there. Forsett, nice job of sticking his head in there, redirecting the linebacker to allow Case Keenum to step up and deliver that ball a little bit off target.
Almost sailed to the safety.
Yep.
Rand Norris in the eye in front of Forsett. Man on second down. Action going the other way. And they've taken away the receivers. Keenum trying to get the first down marker. Will be short by about 3. Out of bounds at the 27.
You know, among other things that Gary Kubiak likes about number 7 is ability to move. And, you know, Gary likes to move the pocket and roll out. Naked boots are really big. And, again, he's going to have opportunities to pull it down. He's athletic. He's not the tallest guy in the world, about 6 foot, and that's 6'1". And that's pushing it just a little bit, but he tucks the ball, seats it in the right hand, and get as much as he possibly could on that play.
And the good decision because they were blanketed. Absolutely. He had no receiver available on the play.
Well, that's what they like about him. He's made a lot of decision in the old offense that Kevin Sumlin had there at the University of Houston.
On 3rd and 3.
Ooh, nice vision.
Nothing doing that time. So it'll be 3 and out with the punt. A little stretch action. Man, Grimes couldn't get there. That'll be the 3rd time tonight. Has been 3 and out with a punt for the Texans. The Vikings will get it back, looking for their first lead of the game. Reggie Jones going back deep from Minnesota. He's out of Portland State. Wobbler from Jones. And puts it on the ground. Loose ball. Texans down there. They should have it. There were 3 Texans diving down. Van Supernaw saying it is. Texans ball and they get it. Another mistake.
And that's inexcusable. Again, the ball was end over and it had obviously a wobble to it, but you've got to see that with that much room to navigate. Then to lose the ball on top of it, well, that's just something that'll get you fired really quickly. Unfortunately, had no idea where that ball went. The Texans doing a great job of coverage, not lollygagging down. Johnny on the spot able to recover.
Sean Loiso on the bottom. So big number 90 showed some good wheels. First down to the 32. First time the Texans have started with the ball in Viking territory. It's Forsett. Man, little guy. Scrambles inside the 25 all the way down from 9 to the 23. Didn't look like it was going to be much. He gets lost in the crowd.
Well, Nathan Minkin did a fine job at that left tackle spot, and he tapped his rear, and you can see on that play, and that basically means I'm going up to the linebacker to the next level. That means the guard next to him can if around, and that created that little alley right there for Forsett to exploit.
Up by 4, can they extend it? A little more breathing room. 2nd and short. Nothing available in a loss. Back to the 25. Audie Cole with the penetration. The linebacker in there. The rookie 7th-round pick out of North Carolina State. Huge numbers, though, for Forsett. His first 3 carries netted him 59 yards.
Yeah, and the big one he had off the top, almost for a moment there, was going to resemble Tony Dorsett's great run back in 1983 against these Minnesota Vikings.
Now Keenum out in the flat. It's Grimes uncovered, and Grimes with a 1st and 10 outside of the 10. Though spotted at the 12. That was easy pitch and catch.
That was nice execution. That's what Case Keenum does exceptionally well. They had a little bunch formation working the play action away with the shallow cross going away to isolate the back. That's a great design play, because you're typically not isolating for the back to get open unless it's number 23. Caught the Vikings on their heels there.
Now let's remind everybody, when you waive somebody like a Grimes or a DJ Bryant, they have to clear waivers before you can put them on the practice squad.
Yeah, and it's kind of a mixed gamble here on the part of the Texans, because the more you show him, the more attractive he's going to look like to somebody.
And again, Keenum. There's a flag in the end zone. They were holding the wide receiver, Joaquin Iglesias. It was an easy call. They don't call it a button hook anymore, but he was trying to do a little turn route. What's the delay? It's a 5-yard mark off. 8:08 left in the 3rd.
Wow. Got an hourglass?
I got a slide rule. So it should be 1st and goal after the mark off on 1st down from the 12. Although, wait a minute, there is a flag on the opposite side. Now is it offsetting? There's one in the end zone, the hold.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal formation. Offense, number 66. Correction. Ineligible player downfield, offense, number 66. Prior to the pass, holding. Defense, number 29. Those penalties all set. Free play.
Yes.
We're down.
And it counts. So it'll be 1st down all over again at the 12.
Wow.
Here's the hold in the end zone we saw.
Camped inside here on coverage. Reggie Jones got his hands all over Joaquin Iglesias. Yeah, you know, that's a clear call. 5 yards, right? Nothing complicated.
Is it going to be a 3-strike rule, though, for Reggie Jones, because he's the one who put it on the ground? He's the reason the Texans have it. He's got 2 strikes. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 12. Nice. Big hole. It's Forsett. Boy, he hits it, and that's what this, you talked about the zone blocking scheme, whether it's Arian Foster, Ben Tate, really hard runner.
It's really about the levels that they have available to him. Cody Wallace does a nice job, number 70, of working up through that 2nd level to get to a linebacker to get a block. And again, Forsett just kind of sifting through there, finding some more extra room to run. Excellent run, excellent blocking by the Texans.
2nd and about 3. Put it down to the 5. The hole's there. Forsett's in. He deserves it. It's been that kind of night for Justin Forsett.
Joel, textbook how you run the mini stretch play. Take it as far as you can and then find the soft spot. Once those Vikings commit down here, believe me, they're going to be a little bit more aggressive than they would be, more likely to pursue outside. So the cutback laying underneath will always be there in most cases if you blocked it properly. The Texans did on that play.
Shane Graham in for the point after. Out of the hold of Donnie Jones. And it's back to 11. So Justin Forsett. It started out to be a very impressive night for him. Big chunks of yardage in the first half, and it continues in the second half. An 11-point lead for the Texans. Get ready, 4th quarter is right around the corner, and Spencer Tillman's rising star of the game, powered by Royal Purple. Anxious for it, Spencer. It's going to be announced in the fourth. Your chance to win a Houston Texans VIP package. It includes tickets to the Texans-Packers game. So stay tuned. And the Texans owner is going to join us as well. Bob McNair to start the fourth.
That's going to be exciting.
Let's head downstairs. Special guest with Bob Allen. Bob.
I got James. I'm ready to go. Oh, we're down here with James Casey. And what do you think of what you've seen from the 2s, the 3s, the 4s tonight?
I think they look great. There's a lot of explosive plays. Justin Forsett, Trenton Holiday. Not really paying close attention to the rookie tight ends. And I love this fourth preseason game because, you know, these guys are playing as hard as they possibly can because there's only so many roster spots available. So I always love this fourth preseason game.
All right, you're in kind of a different position. You're a fullback and you're a tight end as well. How do you think that's going to factor into Gary's decisions that he's got to make tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I mean, I pride myself on being versatile, being able to play fullback and tight end, but I don't know how it's all going to work out. You know, I'm just hoping, you know, that everyone gets a chance to play, you know, play as hard as they can today and just let it all see what happens. We'll find out tomorrow morning who all makes the team, and you never know.
What would you rather play, fullback or tight end?
I can't say either way. You know, if I say fullback or tight end, it makes it look like I don't like the other position as much. So just whatever I can do to get on the field.
You become very political in your older years.
Yeah, I'm getting smart. I'm getting old now. I'm going into my 4th year, so I'm getting a little wiser with my answers.
All right, now these guys tonight who are on the bubble, what is tonight going to be like for them as they wait to see if they get a call or not tomorrow? You've been through that.
I have been through that. I played in this 4th game, and you go into it. You know, you understand that you have to play well in order to even have a chance to make the team the next day, and you find out that next morning. So it's like a Super Bowl game coming out here. It's the most important game in a lot of these guys' life, and you know, unfortunately, we have 75 guys now. We're going to cut down to 53 tomorrow morning, and so you know it's going to be a rough night. And you're kind of tomorrow morning. You're waiting to hear a phone call or not a phone call, and to see if you made it or you didn't make it. And it's really stressful, but it's just kind of part of the business.
When you got the call and they told you you made it, what were your feelings?
I was ecstatic because when you first get drafted, you know, I was a 5th-round draft pick. You don't ever really feel like you're truly part of the team until you make the final cuts and you're on the active roster going into that first game. And you know, my thoughts were just like, I made it. All that hard work's paid off, and I'm finally a member of an NFL team.
All right, James, thank you.
Thank you.
Jordan Todman takes it the distance. Brand new ball game once again, as the Vikings aren't going anywhere, are they?
Absolutely not. And again, if you're sitting at home and watching this, there are a couple of things just being exposed here tonight. Single safety look, again, number 31, Shalokeo, asked to come all the way over. Poor pursuit angle, not enough speed to catch him on the big end. That's tough play right there now.
76 yards on the run by the former UConn Husky, a 6th-round pick of the Chargers last year. He was signed off the San Diego practice squad by the Vikings. The crowd feels like he's out of bounds.
Let's see if that left foot steps out of bounds. Probably happened just before then.
Right. No challenge. And it was right in front of the Texans sideline, so they had a great look. If Gary Kubiak was ever going to throw out the challenge flag,
he just wants to get this over with.
I don't blame him. Inside of 7, left in the 3rd. A lot of points on the board tonight. Texans by 4 as we come back after this word from your local station. As they get ready to put it back into play, it's time now for you to pick the man. Dwayne Brown, Glover Quinn, Ben Tate. Which Texans player? Text T1, 2, or T3 to 88222. Brown, Quinn, Ben Tate.
That's a tough one right there.
That is a tough one.
Just look at the cranium, though, the size of it, man. That's going to tell you a lot.
You're sick.
I say what I see, man. I'm an analyst.
Walsh gets into this one. It'll be Forsett, and he's going to bring it out about 7 yards into the end zone. Over to the left side at an angle, and takes it across the 20, out to the 21. Red Ellis in on the special teams coverage. So Case Keenum and the offense back on the field for the Texans.
And you're seeing tonight why Justin Forsett is so valuable. We saw the big play to kind of begin this game, and then on special teams as a return guy. As Joe Marciano, his special teams coach, visit with him. That's one of the reasons that'll keep you on a team right there, being versatile, able to help the team in multiple ways.
It'll be Jonathan Grimes in the backfield with Keenum. Good hole for Grimes. Didn't maximize it as much as we've seen in the past from him.
Right. He
Good
kind of
little stutter step.
Yeah, he kind of hesitated once he got to that second level, and what you got to do is either slow or commit to it and maybe cut back. But I think he could have kept the path maybe just to a little bit of the right of where he was headed. Vision, that's really what that's about. Kind of run into darkness there, ran to the side of where the defender was as opposed to the opposite.
And let's give credit to Larry Dean out of Valdosta State, who had him.
Made a great play.
Yeah, collared him pretty well, as you saw around the knee. 4-point game. Man, 2nd and 4 for the Texans. Grimes again, bouncing around for a yard, maybe 2, up to the 28. Well, we were talking about Jonathan Grimes, and you're looking at a backfield now for the Texans that are basically destined for the practice squad. Jonathan Grimes and Case Keenum.
Yeah, mainly because of what we've seen from Forsett tonight. It was not necessarily a question mark. Again, I think that Forsett probably outperformed him even before the big run he ripped off. He's an experienced guy. He's a nice change-up to what they have in Ben Tate and Arian Foster.
Yes.
He's a different style.
Yeah, that's a good call. Totally different style. 3rd and a couple of yards. Down on the toss, Forsett's got a convoy, and he gets the first down. Keeps the drive alive. He's up to the 33-yard line on the other side, but we haven't really talked about, and I wanted to get to it, but Jordan Todman rolled away with it on 76 yards on his score. Adrian Peterson's still a question mark.
Yeah,
He's not played in the preseason. He just had contact this past Monday or Tuesday for Leslie Frazier for the first time. So there's a good chance they're going to keep 4. We didn't see Gerhardt tonight. Hilliard started. Todman looked good in everything he's done tonight. So you got to believe, because of the question marks around Peterson, they're going to keep 4 at the tailback spot.
I think that's probably.
Keenum's hit as he throws it. Man, it was almost caught by Mail. Or check that. It was Iglesias diving, 19, not 15, and Ballard deflected the ball up front.
Yeah, Christian Ballard did an excellent job of disrupting that play. And again, when a quarterback's arm is in motion like that and he gets redirected by Big Ballard, well, that's big time trouble. The pressure, spin move up front kind of creates the push, and he's right in Case Keenum's face big time.
4:47 left in the 3rd. 2nd and 10 for Keenum. Rush an extra man, and it gets to Case Keenum. He gets plowed into by Chase Baker, the rookie out of Boise State, on the blind side.
Case is not used to this. I mean, he's used to getting rid of the ball quick in those possession type offenses. When I mean possession, I'm talking about 3 rhythm step drops, getting rid of the ball quickly that they ran at the University of Houston.
It'll be 3rd and long now, with 4+ to play in the 3rd. Ben Grimes again making the most of a tough spot, up to the 33 in a punting situation. So up by 4, the Texans will punt it away. As we mentioned, though, you're exposing guys when you waive them and then re-sign them for the practice squad. They can be plucked away by another franchise.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, you always wish, in particular this case, a hometown kid who happens to be the NCAA's all-time producer in terms of passing. You want him to have a good outing.
That's Burton bringing it back, or Wright rather bringing it back across the 20 up to the 22. And Rock Carmichael, who made a nice play on a little quick out on that previous sequence, gets down there. Unfortunately, there's a Texan down as well, and that's Supernaw. So Supernaw is down. A rookie who played his high school ball right here at Taylor High in Katy. Man, getting up. Boy, tough customer.
Yeah, he's going to shake that thing off. Coaches like it when a player gets up, particularly when they've got to make a tough cut. You can see a lot of traffic there. Guys down around the ankles and knees. That's a very tough spot to be in. Again, you have to really be conscious when you start getting around late in this game in the 4th.
It went to the back of his calf, almost like he was cramping up.
I think he may have taken a shot to it, though.
It'll be at the 22 now for the Vikings. Man in there at quarterback, it continues to be McLeod Bethel Thompson out of Sacramento State. Jordan Todman coming off a 76-yard run. Gets 3 there up to the 25. So Tonight they're 75 in a Texans uniform. We talked about it at the top of the telecast. End of the day tomorrow, it's down to 53. Then you can re-sign your practice squad the next day.
Well, again, there's going to be more than a couple of guys that make the practice squad, and I'm not so sure it's not for the best reasons, because we've seen not just Case Keenum struggle, the quarterback. We've seen, Yates, who took this team to the playoffs, that won their first playoff game. He struggled. He's not had a particularly excellent preseason as well.
On 2nd and 7, it's available over the middle, but a low throw once again for Jarius Wright. Had a lot of throws his way tonight, their 4th-round pick out of Arkansas.
Was blowing away a ball, wasn't
it? Inside of 3 left in the 3rd. So a little more than 17 minutes left of the preseason. Tough choices, and especially in the secondary. Rock Carmichael has not only looked good at times with the secondary, but he's a special teams guy. That's right. That helps.
It does help, and again, he's been able to make plays. He's had an excellent spring and leading up to OTAs in the summer and in the fall as well.
Now, Badler Thompson won't get there. Taking care of it, Rennie Moore.
Lenny working the games and the deals underneath with his battery mate there on the outside. Van Gupu, that games and deal oftentimes works mysteries and wonders if you're trying to block it from an offensive standpoint. But if you got the athleticism, boy, when guys cross like that, somebody's going to come open. Quarterback is the one that typically pays for it.
Justin Forsett waiting back at the 25, just joined us. 76-yard punt return tonight by Trendon Holiday. That ended his night. Forsett will take it, and it almost surprised him, like he misjudged it at first and then had to hustle up to get under it. But still good field position on a very short punt as he takes it at the 36.
Yeah, he closed on that ball pretty good, though. I mean, I think the coverage probably threw him a little bit, but it's one of the most challenging things in the world to return a punt in the National Football League, particularly when the punt is not particularly long and the coverage is on top of you. It can be quite liberating, put it that way.
Whether you like it or not.
Absolutely.
From the 36, a 1st down. Jonathan Grimes stays with the backfield. Counter action. Yeah, didn't fool anybody. Man, it's no gain on the carry. Case Keenum, you were talking about, better than 19,000 passing yards in his career at the University of Houston. And across the board.
Ones.
Right.
First place. That ranking tells you something, boy. Timmy Chang at Hawaii obviously put up big numbers and didn't make it in the NFL. I think this guy still can make it. He's got a little Drew Brees in him. I'm not comparing him to Drew. I'm just simply saying height-wise, experience.
I don't think there's any question he could make it at this level. He's in there and hand off now. Grimes again makes the most and gets about 4 out of the play. But back to Case Keenum, I'm doing the game in Waco on Sunday night. I talked to Art Briles about Case. Case was recruited to Houston by Art before he left there, and talking about he's a smart quarterback. He's an intelligent guy who makes good decisions.
And he's an unbelievable leader. I spoke to Kevin's kids last year, and one thing that stuck out to me was the leadership that he displayed as he spoke to the group before I got up and talked. Well, you can see he was the defined leader in that whole group, defense and offense, and clearly on the field the numbers speak for themselves.
So on a 3rd down, here comes the extra rusher. Got to go out in a hurry, and Mill can't get away. Good open field tackle over on the far side by Brandon Burton. So it'll be another punting situation. Burton out of Utah, 5th-round pick last year for the Vikings. And that'll do it for the 3rd in this final preseason game. So knock on wood, only one guy's gone down, and that was Rashad Butler in the first half with an elbow injury, and that's why you want to get the preseason done and over and out with a lot of healthy bodies. Through 3, Texans by 4. We'll continue from Houston right after these messages. Brought to you by Reliant. With Reliant, you're the one with the power to save on electricity. Call 1-866-RELIANT. Also by the Texas Lottery. Play the Houston Texans scratch-off game. The Texas Lottery, and maybe it's your lucky day. And by NFL Ticket Exchange. Buy and sell Texans tickets at NFL.com/ticket exchange. Fair catch called for by Wright, and after the punt by Donnie Jones, as Case Keenum looks it over. Well, the scheme now, and let's face it, he talks it over with quarterbacks coach Carl Durrell. They want the clock to move. They want to run the football. They're not throwing it on first down. They're not mixing things up. It's a pretty basic plan.
Yeah, Carl Durrell, is a great offensive mind. Coaching the quarterbacks, part of it is decision making, understanding the context that you're in, and they're looking for things. They're not necessarily looking for them to pass the ball, but how they handle the ball in these circumstances. We saw him make a heads-up play, and I believe game one.
Right.
We stayed in bounds in the near field here.
Yeah, a little hook slide. Keep the clock moving. Across is Wright, and he's got it on good pass protection for Bethel Thompson. Out to the 30 and a first down for the Vikings.
Like the speed that the Vikings are still playing with. I mean, that shows you something. If you're Coach Frazier, you're looking for anybody that can make a difference and flash for you. You need receivers. You're depleted. Your best receiver is going to be serving a suspension for 3 games. Who among them is willing to step up besides Percy Harvin?
There's a hard tackle by Pleasant, and Wright went over to the sideline. He gets 14 on the completion, though. Ton of time again for Bethel Thompson. And it was out of bounds, even it was taken in by Arsenault. And it wasn't. It was dropped. Carmichael there with him.
Rock did an excellent job of turning around and putting his body between the defender. Watch his head turn again, playing straight man-up coverage. And then watch him relocate and find the ball. With the head up in there, knowing where he is all the time relative to the sideline, that becomes your friend.
Yeah,
no need to panic. Excellent defense right there.
It's like double coverage with the sideline.
Absolutely.
Extra defender over there, and Carmichael utilized it. 28-24. On a 2nd and 10, a minute into the 4th. Nothing doing for Asiata. Loss of a yard or 2. David Hunter with good penetration up front. The rookie who played at Water High School right here, besides playing for the Cougars of Houston. We're going to be joined by the Texans owner in just a moment, Bob McNair. Talk about the upcoming seasons. We're 90 seconds into the 4th. And let's see if the Texans can get a stop here on 3rd and long. Bethel Thompson out of the gun. Man, not close. Carmichael again accounting for himself very well up against the big receiver Arsenault.
It's relative to where he is to the sideline. Rock did an excellent job again of turning and locating the ball, understanding that the sideline again is his friend. He doesn't have to panic, locate the ball, and be a good defender. Excellent job.
So a punt comes up, and when we come back from a timeout after the punt, unless Forsett wants to take it the distance for us.
I tell you what, I love the context. He's got plenty of room to navigate.
So backing up Trendon Holiday, who's already brought one back 76 yards. He waits back at the 20. Kluwe gets into it.
Jammer's doing a nice job on the outside. Plenty of room to operate here.
Can he capitalize? Up the middle he goes. That's how Holiday busted it. And a good return. About 10 yards up to the 33. And we'll talk to Bob McNair when we come back, the owner of the Texans, in just a moment, with the Texans up by 4, 28-24. As we welcome you back once again to Reliant. We continue with the Texans on top of the Vikings. We're joined now by Bob McNair, the owner of the Houston Texans, and productive preseason.
Well, it has been very productive. I've never seen so many big plays. I just assumed that we were the ones making all of them, though,
right.
You know. But it's giving these youngsters an opportunity to show what they can do, and it makes it an exciting game. And, we'll have some tough decisions we've got to make.
Really tough. We've been talking about that.
Bob, it's all about leadership, the way you've navigated this organization to this point, a decade deep into ownership now. What's the most significant and proud thing you are of where you have this franchise right now?
Well, I think the depth that we have and the balance that we have, I think those are the keys. Our offense, we can run the ball, we can throw it. And you know, our special teams, I think, are going to be very good, and our defense is going to be outstanding. And when you have all three of those teams that are high quality, you're going to get good results. And it's taken a long time to get us there, but we're there now.
And you certainly locked up your leadership. Of course, Coach Kubiak extended contract, as well as Rick Smith as well, your general manager.
Yes.
Yeah, significant moves there.
Right, and we've got the right people in place now. We've got a great coach, great general manager, and I think they're doing an outstanding job for us.
Well, the continuity is going to pay off, and also the quick transition. We talked about it earlier tonight. Wade Phillips comes in, employs the 3-4, and all of a sudden you go from 30th overall to 2nd overall, and now you're a very deep team, and on the back end even look better with your secondary. Front seven is outstanding to begin with.
Yeah, I think the way Wade plays defense, he keeps it simple. He does it in steps. You know, you become proficient at one level before you move to the next. So the players play with confidence, and when they play with confidence, they're more aggressive.
And you know, we're watching Case Keenum right now, and we're totally not objective at all about this young man because we want him to succeed. We want this story to stay right here at home.
Everybody would like to see Case do well, and you know, he hadn't had much time to throw, so I hope we give him a little better opportunity here in the rest of this quarter.
And we talked about the basics of this plan. I mean, you want to run the ball, but now he's letting him throw it a little bit on first down. And you can see he's a good decision maker. His Forsett battles, but he's stuffed after a gain of a yard. And there have been some great stories with some of the other youngsters, like Jonathan Grimes, who could potentially be on the practice squad. There's so many ifs because they're out there and exposed to other teams.
Yes, and we've got a lot of young offensive linemen that are going to be good players. Which ones are going to be the best players? You know, it's hard to tell right now. But we've got some good quality players out there that are going to be around for a good while.
Bob, for the sake of the interview, we asked a difficult question. Clearly, the game goes on at times in terms of time longer than most people are comfortable with watching an NFL game with officiating. It's been tough. It's been tough to watch.
Keenum for Posey. Well, and it is a difficult transition because they've already said now that game one is going to be the replacement officials. So hopefully the two parties can get together.
Well,
if you need a mediator, so. I'm available.
I hope so, and we're ready for them whenever they're ready to go to work. So hopefully it can be worked out. But these guys are doing a good job. I think they're being overly cautious, and you know, and there's a lot more supervision of them than we normally have, and they just want to make sure they make the right calls, and it takes a little more time.
I think Joe's been a little selfish. He's got to deal with it.
There's a flag down to the play on a fair catch. The key is that when you came in, we were talking about it before we came on, the health of a team. Your fortune and how you do through the course of the season is predicated on who stands up at the end, who's healthy enough.
Absolutely, and how healthy is the team you're playing.
Right.
I mean, we talk about strictly our team, but it also, you know, a lot depends on the health of the other team too. But you know, we had a lot of injuries last year to key players. That's unusual. I just can't imagine that sort of thing will happen again. You're always going to have injuries, but not that many to your key players.
That was crazy last year.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Bob, keep them healthy for us, will you please?
Well, I tell you what, it was a challenge. I thought Kubiak did a magnificent job. I don't want to have to test him like that again.
Bob, thank you for joining us, and great success this season.
Thank you,
Bob.
Nice to be
with you.
Appreciate
you.
Thank you.
Stay with us in Houston. The ABC is going to start its Republican convention coverage at 9 o'clock, and you can watch the rest of our game. The coverage comes on 13.2, which is Comcast channels 315 and 685. Those of you that don't have Comcast, unfortunately, well, you can pick it up with our friends Mark Vandermeer and Andre Ware over on 610 AM on the radio. And I hate to say that, but that is the situation because this is preseason game number 4. It's not regular season game number 15 or 16 with that much at stake. What is at stake, though, is the future of the country. And the Republican National Convention, as well as the Democratic National Convention, is important to all of us.
Absolutely. Again, where the nation goes, it's an issue of leadership, and it's important to all Americans.
It's first down for the Vikings on that play from their own 5 out to the 21. And going for the bundle, Bethel Thompson then overshoots Wright, who had an inside track on Rock Carmichael. The safety not exactly getting over in time to help him out.
Yeah, it was a great job, first of all, of getting over the top of that coverage, and that's something that you want to be in the back of the hip pocket. Rock Carmichael squatting, turning, running, locating the ball because he's facing it, but again, just the speed to get past him made him vulnerable.
2nd and 10 for the 21. So 5 minutes gone by in the 4th. So at the top of the hour, we're making that change, that shift for our viewers on ABC Channel 13 here in Houston. Short gain on the carry. Todman again, who's done most of the duty here in the second half, dropped by David Hunter. So it'll be a 3rd down. Hunter, a rookie out of Water High School here in Houston. First and 10. This quarter brought to you by First Community Credit Union. And looking at a 3rd and 7 is the Vikings. 3rd quarterback of the night following Joe Webb and Sage Rosenfeld. McLeod, Bethel, Thompson. The gun. They bring the extra rusher. Doesn't pay off. Does it? Yes. They get him at the 28. Good close and coverage as he's put down by Sherrick McManus.
That's textbook tackle there. McManus closing again and grabbing and dragging down to the ground, and Wright a little dinged up, smarting after that play. Again, textbook tackle. Again, great leverage, body inside, head across the body. Gets dead. We call that getting dead. When you just put your dead weight on the guy after you grab him, it's very tough for a guy to recover for that. And Wright's feeling a little bit wrong.
I was going to say. So McManus, another guy who was a 5th round pick in 2010. Will he stick? We talked about 8, 9 defensive backs at the most. We'll continue when we come back with the Texans up by 4. Those of you that guessed Ben Tate, yes, you win.
There he is.
That must be the ultimate, though.
See,
we saw James Casey on the sideline. When they hand you a hat and take away your pads before the final preseason game, that's got to be the ultimate for a guy. You don't have to work tonight.
I don't want to get off the identification of Ben Tate. I mean, Ben has played a lot of football, been in the sun a lot. He's got a nice little tan working. That kind of threw some people off, I think.
Well, maybe it was the photo more than anything else.
That kind of looked like Ben.
Kodachrome.
Yeah, he had that's right.
That's an old photo.
Yeah.
It's not like it came from an iPhone.
68. Defense. Player came into the neutral zone and caused the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I have a funny feeling when this game is over, these officials are still going to be out here making calls.
Yeah, I think so.
So inside of 9 to play. Man. On the first down from the 32. Vikings offense stays on the field. Two tight end set it down. Short out. Man, that was hot. Too hot to handle. Burton was the intended target. And plenty of snaps tonight for Brandon Harris. Good experience for that young man. It's time for our Houston Community College smart decision of the game. Well, we've said this a few times this preseason. 3rd time officially for a touchdown for Trendon Holiday.
Wise decision to field the ball, the speed to force the coverage to declare what they want to do, and he just rips them right down the middle.
2nd and 10. Underneath. Little bubble action on the screen. And a first down. Good play call. Across the 45 to the 47.
The Texans got fooled on that outside upfield rush, kind of lured them in there. And as we look at Trendon Holiday, I tell you, they'll be able to recover from a lot of bad plays as a result of him. I mean, he is, again, the 86-yard punt return he had for the touchdown today, the second of the preseason, was impressive.
Well, he told us yesterday, and we sat down for a few minutes here at Reliant with Trendon, that he was hoping to get some snaps at wideout.
Yeah, he was hoping to, and I don't think that's going to happen, but the kid can show you he can impact the game from anywhere you put him.
It's a first down for Bethel Thompson.
Too much.
Tight end taken away on the pick. Well timed. Pleasant's got the interception. Almost like Bethel Thompson put a little too much air onto that one.
Yeah, he did. Eddie Pleasant did a nice job of breaking on that ball, but again, too much air underneath this ball, hanging it up there. Pleasant just did an excellent job of plucking that ball out of the air, catching it at the highest point, right in front of the receiver. Just unbelievable job of focus. Again, plucking that out of the air for a big play.
His best friend right now, Case Keenum, and the offense.
That's right.
They want to get back on the field. Yeah, they want more snaps. So the Texans get it back at their own 39-yard line. Inside of 8 to play in the preseason. Forsett, nice alley over to the right side. It closes in a hurry, but still about 4, almost 5.
Well, he does have a second gear, doesn't he? He plays at a different level.
Well, those of you watching in Houston, we remind you, ABC is going to be starting its Republican convention coverage at the top of the hour. So Texan fans in Houston, you can watch the rest of our game on 13.2, which if you're with Comcast, that's Comcast channels 315 and 685. If you're not on Comcast, maybe Sports Radio 610 with Mark Vandermeer and Andre Ware for the final 7.5 minutes of play. 2nd and 6. Forsett altering his direction very nicely. First down. Good read. First down for the Texans. And Justin Forsett close to a club record for most rushing yards in a preseason held by Arian Foster.
Yeah, and that's pretty impressive.
In a preseason game.
Yeah, in a preseason game. That's pretty impressive, too, because number 23 obviously put up some huge numbers. You're looking for Forsett there, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. Single game record.
From the midfield stripe. Easy one for Posey. Boy, did he have a cushion? You got to put the ball away. Easy pickup for the linebacker. Larry Dean's got it. And it goes back to the Vikings. Well, last week after it was put on the ground 3 times, Gary Kubiak said did a lot of things right. But with those 3 fumbles and mistakes, it'll keep you humble.
Awareness was simply not there.
28-24 as Minnesota gets it back on the mistake. Now welcome back once again to Reliant. Joel Myers, Spencer Tillman, Bob Allen. With the Texans up by 4, 6.5 to play, but the ball going back to the Vikings on a turnover. Well, if you're into college football like all of us are, Houston's premier college football rivalry, Rice and Houston, coming to Reliant Saturday, September 29. Proceeds from the ticket sales benefiting each university's general scholarship fund. For tickets, call 832-667-2390. Or you can go online right now and pick them up at Ticketmaster.com.
Bayou Bucket.
You ready?
Yes, sir. Be there.
1st and 10 for the 19. And there's a hold, but they'll let it go. That's good pressure again. Boy, David Hunter is matching up inside very well.
Absolutely. Again, David got a big, wide frame, lower body, get push upfield. Can be very disruptive in the middle.
Pass out of the reach of Arsenault as he forced the issue and made it an early throw for Bethel Thompson. So significant snaps for Hunter. And even though it doesn't work with the Texans, you're on film.
Somebody will see it.
Right. You're on film. You could end up on somebody else's regular roster or practice squad. To spin for about 2.
And he's pretty
Mitch
nifty.
King puts him down.
Absolutely. And, you know, Hunter's pretty nifty. Even though he went push past that play, he spun around and tried to get back involved in it. And that just shows you how active he is, despite the fact he's got that lower body. You know, he's a pretty big guy. He's got great leverage, great push. Got a pretty good motor, too.
Some of these decisions we just saw Gary Kubiak are going to be some of the most difficult ones he's had in his 7 seasons.
Well, that happens. That's indicative of a team that is improving and getting more and more laden with talent. Some of that talent's going to get away.
A dart and a good grab. It's a first down. That was a good throw by Bethel Thompson to Stephen Burton. He's brought down by Brandon Harris.
That was just a matter of Burton doing a great job of finding the void in the zone coverage, and the ball was just delivered on time, and he plucked it out of the air, which was just a great pitch and catch.
So first down across the 30, keeping the drive alive. It's a 4-point lead for the Texans. So 10 days away from the opener. And if you're watching Hard Knocks, the Miami Dolphins, they're the opposition.
September 9th, 12 p.m.
Todman, man, close to another first down. Let's head downstairs and rejoin Bob Allen. Bob.
Yeah, guys, we're with my little friend J.J. Watt. You getting tired of watching?
Very sick of watching. It's fun to watch these guys compete, but really can't wait to get back out there next week.
You could have played tonight.
Yeah, I could have. I mean, I feel really good. I've been practicing this week, and we're just going to save it for the real stuff.
How frustrating was it when you first got that injury?
Oh, extremely frustrating. Just watching the guys go out there and not be able to help, not be able to compete. It's very, very frustrating, but it's nice to know that I'll be back for when it counts, and we're ready to make our run.
Somebody told me that you said that the light came on more and more and more during the season last year, and you could see you learning a lot. Your learning curve got a lot faster. True?
Yeah. I mean, I learned a lot as the season went on. Started to pick up new things, and going into this season, I'm a lot smarter. I'm a lot stronger. I'm a lot bigger than I was last year. So, really excited to use all my new tools.
Confidence shouldn't be any problem.
No, sir. It's not. There shouldn't be an issue with confidence when you prepare hard, when you work hard, and when you have coaches like ours to make sure we're ready every single week.
When you went into the offseason, was the one thing you kept thinking about was that interception here against Cincinnati?
No. The nice things are fun to think about now and again, but I always think about the bad plays. I think about the plays I didn't do well because really at the end of the day, those are the ones you want to correct. It's fun to make the touchdowns. It's fun to make the sacks. You got to focus on the plays you do wrong so you can make them right.
How much better is your defense going to be this year?
We're going to be a lot better. Last year we were number 2. This year we're going to be number 1. That's the goal.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you.
What a good kid.
Yes, good interview
He's
too,
really
Bob.
A solid young man, and thank you, Bob Allen.
By rule, the ball will be placed at the previous spot.
And I hope you had a chance to see our conversation at halftime with JJ and Sean Cody. And there's just a feeling in this locker room now that this defense can get it done.
Yeah, they can. And, you know, the thing I like about the interview that Bob just did, Connor Barham was behind him, giving him the business the whole while, and he just, stood in there, poised. He's a sharp kid.
Interesting call after the Texans got the sack, the penalty on the Texans. So it's a first down at the 40. False start. Too many conversations with the officials. 4:19 to play.
Mitch King clearly jumped offside. I mean, just call it, throw the flag, and let's move on.
Yeah, they called a false start. And then the official on the other side was waving his hands like he was blowing it dead. The sideline official.
Gary, he is just absolutely beside himself. He wants to get in the locker room already.
Encroachment, defense number 79. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Texans said the line moved. It's not going to change.
It's actually 97.
So the drive alive.
So you can watch Mitch King here. See, he moved.
Yeah.
The offensive lineman drawing him off the ball, and that's what Gary's upset about, and Wade is as well. And it may have a case. He moved.
That's a shot to Todman, and the guy who gave it to him was the one. It looked like Mitch King again.
Yeah, Mitch King was right there, put a shoulder on him, Look at all the dings and the marks on the helmet. You see all the little white marks on the helmet right there?
He'll sleep well.
Oh, my goodness. That's why they're taking care of these players, because each one of those butts like that, that's like a mini train wreck, man.
Now a 2nd and 5. Screen is set up. And from behind, David Hunter.
Yeah, see, David's a big body guy, but he can move, man. And that's one thing that really is deceptive about him. He's got that lower body build. One of those things when we were kids, we used to knock over and punch them. They come right back at you.
Rock'em sock'em robots.
No, those are the robots. When I'm talking about the thing with the weighted at the bottom,
yeah.
You hit them and they come right back up. The bozo, the clown things. That's the way he's built, man. You hit him, he comes right back up.
It's late in the preseason.
Yes, it is.
3rd and 2. Bunch over on the far side. And it's off the fingertips of Rudolph. Or check that. The other receiver on that side.
It's Pleasant making a great play.
Pleasant
again.
with the pop. And a big pop at that. Off the fingertips of Alan Reisner, the tight end. Rudolph couldn't be in there that late. And I'm talking about the length of the game in the 4th quarter. A starter for them. So now it's going to be 4th down. This is it for the Vikings. Although they do have 3 timeouts remaining, and we hope it stays that way when there are goose eggs up on the board with time remaining. Time for Bethel Thompson, and too tall. He misses a wide open Stephen Burton. Some of the heat had something to do with the ball sailing.
Well, you can clearly see this ball is high and away, but the Texans are dialing it up. Rock does a nice job of pivoting and turning immediately to be in a good football position to make a play if he had to. The ball, fortunately for the Texans and unfortunately for the Vikings, was thrown high and away.
So Keenum in the offense and Grimes, can they run out the clock? As I mentioned, it's 4 timeouts basically, 3 on the board for the Vikings, plus the 2-minute warning. It's Grimes. Maybe 2 to the 47. Time now for the Coors Light. Cold, hard facts. And the numbers tonight. And not too many opportunities for Keenum to throw the ball on 1st down. And working more and not making a case for Case Keenum as opposed to John Beck, but a lot of 2nd and 3rds out there, whereas mostly 2s out there with John Beck early in the game.
Well, there's going to be a significant drop off typically with the 2s and the 3s because it's all about execution. You know, Case Keenum is a good quarterback. He's an able quarterback. But again, offense is a creative process. Defense is a destructive process. Always takes longer to create something than it does to destroy it. And that's why you see the 2s and 3s offensively struggling the way that you do.
What's your guess on the quarterback situation? Case obviously practice squatting. Right. Go there. Beck and 3 quarterbacks on this roster?
You know, that's a lot. But I will tell you this, the context determines your strategy. Last year with the Liz Frank injury to Matt Schaub, you've got to consider that. Right. You got to think about it hard, long and hard.
Got to be in the back of the mind of Gary Kubiak after what happened to Schaub and Leonard.
Hopefully it's a moot point and Matt can turn back to that 2009-2010 form when he went wire to wire.
It's Grimes inside the 45 to the 44. Another timeout. So the Vikings have 1 remaining plus the 2-minute warning, trailing by 4.
Well, again, no matter what happens, one of the things that I think the Texans have got to address is the absence of, you know, Eric Winston and Mike Rizel. Of course, Winston was a casualty, and the change that they make over there, they've got to find some positive runs on that right side of that offensive line.
But as we mentioned earlier, and we've discussed it, there are going to be some talented guys out there on the waiver wire.
Yeah, I don't discount that, and that's a very valid point. But I think, again, gets back to the creativity part of offense. You just can't ask a guy to step in there and absorb this offense because it's not necessarily an easy offense.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and 6. Keenum working from the gun and going for the bundle with Iglesias and no flag.
Wow.
Reggie Jones never turned around to locate the football with a lot of contact coming down the sideline.
The official never turned around to locate his glasses either because that was clearly interference. Again, a little incidental touch, by the way. I mean, that's clearly a foul. Interference.
Now let's see if Donnie Jones. Wow. This is an opportunity for him to work on pooching the ball out of bounds inside the 10. Will they go that way or just a high knuckleball? Reggie Jones, who put it on the ground and was in on that last play defensively. Knuckleball straight up. And Jones
He didn't want any part of that.
lets it hop, and a good save. Great save and a nice play by Pleasant once again, who had the interception earlier in the game.
You know, a returner's core values is what he does, not what he says. Clearly, the fumble impacted him earlier. He makes the decision, should have fielded that ball big time in a game that mattered. Not a preseason game. That's a major mistake.
Yeah, he could have had it close to the, what, 15?
Yeah, 15 yards maybe.
Don't forget, 610 Texans Radio, weekly shows with Mark Vandermeer, the voice of the Texans, alongside Gary Kubiak. Go to HoustonTexans.com for a complete list of the programs on Texans Radio, game day every day on Radio 610. So inside the one last try for the Vikings, and too much time for Bethel Thompson on the crossing pattern. He's got it across the 20 to Stephen Burton, who hangs on this time out of West Texas A&M. He was on the practice squad last season for the Vikings, brought down by Pleasant.
Let's see if the Texans dial up pressure here. Again, you clearly know that the Vikings are going to want to pass the ball, and I know we're trying to run out the clock, but they're playing their offense, looks like it.
Well, they've used the screen a couple of times. Not this time, though. Man, Arsenal, a big target, takes it to the 45. He's 6'2", almost 6'3", out of Alcorn State. We talked about his experience in the CFL with BC Lions, and he's got another first down. So some breathing room, to say the least, now for the Vikings in a 4-point ball game as we continue inside of 2 minutes.
Again, go to abc13.com to enter for a chance to win 2 VIP tickets to pregame sideline passes and Texas Packers game that's coming up on October 14th. And Houston Texans get an autograph item along the ride. Here are the couple of touchdowns that made him our rising star of the game. Forsett doing a nice job of navigating inside, running strong, and of course he showed you his speed off the top end. Former Cal Bear. Big performance today.
Lakeland, Florida.
Yes, he is. Got past number 23, Arian Foster, by 4 yards. It's a Texans preseason single game record. A couple of touchdowns to boot.
So those are your 3 running backs for the Texans this year. Foster, Tate, and Forsett. Now we mentioned 3 years ago, 41 grabs out of the backfield. First and 10 from the 45, inside of 2 to play. There's the screen.
Nice play.
And well played on the outside. Coming over, and he's been showing up. Loiso.
You talk about shedding and release. Loiso did a great job of being engaged, and despite that shedding, releasing his guy trying to block him, and made a great play.
On second down.
Wow.
Oh, pancake.
Hello.
And it's going to be a penalty.
Hit.
Was it? Did he lead with the helmet? DJ Bryant has had an amazing night, but it's going to be costing him that time.
Helmet contact, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Let's see if it could have been avoided.
Well, he led with, there's no question about it. He beats the tackle, made him whiff. You know what? I tell you what, that's a challenge.
That's not the crown of the helmet.
I would challenge that call. I mean, obviously you can't challenge, but I mean, I would argue that was not a helmet to helmet. He actually had his helmet to the right,
into the chest.
He turned it to the shoulder to purposely avoid that. That's not a good call. That's a bad call. Here's another look at it again. Watch his head go to the left to avoid. He turns it to the left. He's not leading with the helmet.
No.
That's a bad call in my opinion.
And he's not launching himself at the same time either. It's from the 48. And it's batted down in front. It's incomplete.
Actually caught by the
Rennie Moore. I thought it was batted down. I thought it hit the ground. Rennie Moore, I thought, batted it into the ground. But anything can happen tonight. I think it's alive. If it's one hop and a catch, then it's complete. New preseason rule. Stops the clock with 1:23 to play. We have seen some interesting ones tonight.
Yes, we have.
10 from the Texans 48. And another one that's deflected at the line. Good read by the big fella in front.
You can see the Texans.
That's Fangupo.
Fangupo and the Texans are dialing up a little bit, trying to get after their up front. You can see the hands up. If you can't get to the quarterback, you're coached to get those hands up in the air. And Fangupo does a great job of seeing through the blockers to the quarterback, times it perfectly, bats it down.
Do you like his vertical?
I love it. It was like 2 inches.
It's like mine. It's 3rd and 10. Spread them out. Man, it's quarterback call. It'll be 4th down. This is the game at the 45 at a timeout is going to be taken. So they spread them out and tried to trick the Texans.
Yeah, that's a Shao Ko did a great job of filling that gap, and
he comes over to the sideline hurt.
Yeah, he's banged up. And Wade's
So the Vikings use their final timeout with 1:11 to play. We talked about the Miami Dolphins. I've really enjoyed watching Coach Philbin and the dynamics inside a training camp, and a tough training camp. I mean, he had to go through the Chad Johnson scenario, and there have been some interesting ones.
A lot of change.
And watching a guy that I sat in meetings with over the last 2 years there, Ryan Tannehill.
Art Sherman's there.
Right, Ryan Tannehill, who's their quarterback, and is named their quarterback ahead of Matt Moore.
Former offensive coordinator. Mike Sherman is there.
So the Vikings on the 23rd of December. And what will they be after a 3-13 season? Last year, when they come to Reliant 2 days before Christmas. So here it is. Here's the ball game. 4th and almost 7. And a false start. I'd get a little jumpy too up there.
That's only fitting that the game ends this way, right?
False start. Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
All right, here it is. It's the guard and the tackle move. Right guard and tackle move. At least they were in unison.
I was going to say. Synchronicity. From the 50.
Phil Collins.
1:13 to play. Here comes the heat again. Bethel Thompson got away, and he's got the 1st down. It'll go to the 30. The drive is still alive. It started back at their 1. It's their tight end, Mickey Schuler, out of Penn State. They're out of timeouts, though. Don't forget that. Give Bethel Thompson credit, stepping up into the pocket. Heat from the outside, screen, not fooled again. And out of bounds, Todman stops the clock with 44 seconds remaining. So they burned him a couple of times earlier.
They did. So high drama for the finish here. Look, the Texans, let's see. A little drama. Let's see if they dial up pressure. That's typically what Wade would do in this situation.
It's a 3.5-hour game for the preseason.
That's right.
We love this.
Now we know why
Can't
they charge
get enough.
full price for tickets, right?
They haven't gone home. Good pocket protection that time. And thrown out of bounds. Aroma Shadu, who's back in the game, believe it or not.
Yeah, Rock Carmichael again defending. Boy, he's done an excellent job on that side over there. Camp outside, playing a bail technique where you're facing the quarterback and just feeling. Sticks that arm out there just to feel where he is. Understanding relationship to the sideline. He's got that technique down pat.
So now 3rd down at about 8. Straight 4-man rush. Bethel Thompson goes airborne short of the 1st down.
Pull the Sage Rosenfeld.
Yeah, thank you. Low ESO. That's a big hurdle to clear.
He goes airborne, man. That's a dangerous thing to do.
This is it. It'll be 4th down. The clock rolling down to 15 seconds. And that's it. It's over. And a nice close by Brandon Harris, their 2nd-round pick last year. We spent a few minutes with him yesterday morning, and he just feels like he belongs now, and you can tell his confidence level is up.
At 10 pounds, that's the difference right there. It's a game of inches, and he shows you why. Harris does an excellent job of closing on that ball and seals it with a nice little Irish jig on the end. Nice defensive play here by Harris. And again, one of the things he told us yesterday, Joe, you alluded to it, the 10 pounds gave him the ability to turn and pivot and to close faster.
He's had hamstring problems last year.
Yes, he has.
And he said he's lost the weight. He's come back, and his closing, as you mentioned, without the extra weight, is recovering on plays.
Well, it's been a highly successful preseason for Gary and this team, this offense. He's thrown to many different receivers. We've learned a lot about the offense in terms of what was a weakness in the wide receiver corps, now arguably a strength.
I want to thank you. I want to thank Bob Allen and everybody in the truck and our crew at ABC 13, KTRK for all they've done. And it should be a memorable, special year for the Texans.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be the defense, as good as it was last year, will be better. The offense more diverse. The one question on the right side of that line, you got to find a replacement for Eric Winston, Mike Brazel, both no longer here. You got to find a substitute.
For Spencer Tillman and Bob Allen, I'm Joel Myers. Thank you for being with us all month during the preseason as the Texans finish the preseason 3-1. And a nice play by second-round pick out of Miami last year, Brandon Harris. Houston viewers, don't forget, ABC 13 will have it on Eyewitness News later tonight. Everything you want regarding the Texans. Other stations on the Texans Television Network, stay tuned for your local news and programming. This has been a presentation of the Texans Television Network. Have a great weekend, everybody, and thanks for being with us.